All right, welcome to day 3 of the NA versus EU showdown. I am one of your hosts, Blitz5, with my buddy and founder of Main Gaming, Stento, as our co-host today. Again, this is just going to be NA playing for tonight from 8:15 Eastern Standard Time to about 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here are our groups of teams that have been playing. We already have Group A versus B play, and then A versus C play. So again, for the final day, day 3 of the first week, we will be having Group B versus Group C, and we'll be rotating and having the schedule each week until we have the playoffs at the end of June. So for the next 3 weeks, we'll be streaming Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, going through these groups for a regular season prize pool of $1,000 split between NA and EU. And then once these teams make it into the finals, top 8 from each section, top 9 for NA, they will be competing for $4,000. Then we also have our map list, starting off with Erangel. 5 games, as always, 3 on Erangel, 2 on Miramar. And take us into the first game. Stento, here's the flight path.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome back, everybody. We are ecstatic to be here for our 3rd straight day in a row of the Main Gaming NA versus EU showdown. It's looking like a Zarky down to a Milta plane path. And this is Group B versus Group C. These teams have not seen each other yet, so we are still going to be in for a little bit of an adjustment period, I think, and we'll have to pay close attention to these drops here, Blitz, to make sure we don't miss anything too hot.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited because, again, yeah, these teams haven't seen each other. We're still getting used to everybody here. A lot of veteran teams. We're still kind of getting accustomed to this setup. We finally have things going well on the production side. We hope you guys are enjoying everything so far. If you guys have any feedback for us, you can always feel free to message us behind the scenes. Again, a lot of work going on behind the scenes here for this event. We're just trying to make this as entertaining as possible and follow all of the action. Some early shots here from Vigorous, a team that is a great team that a lot of people, I think, recognize, even from the casual scene that might know a little bit about the PUBG console competitive scene. They've been a little off lately, making it to the end, and they finally got their first dub yesterday. And again, we're working on getting these videos of all the VODs onto YouTube on the Main Gaming YouTube channel, so you guys can catch up with any of the action if you're interested in that. Right now, they're available on the Twitch VODs, but definitely a team to watch for today because they did end up getting that dub. And again, we're just in week 1, Stento, right? But teams need to, every point counts, helping them get to the top 9. So you don't want a team like Vigorous to miss out on the top 9. That would be really a bummer because they have a lot of great players on their team.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the end of today will mark the 1/3. 1/3 of our tournament will be over after the end of today. So we'll get a much better idea of where these groups are going to stand after all having played 10 games at the end of today. But taking a quick look around the map, Blitz, I'm not seeing any hot drops. It might be a good time to maybe drop into our scoreboard and give our viewers a little bit of an idea of where we stand heading into today.
Yeah, great idea. Let's pull this up. So this is the NA scoreboard. Let's see if it will load. Let me give a quick refresh here. Okay, we might have temporarily not loading the scoreboard. We'll check back in just a sec. Let me take a look at that. We'll get it for you guys in a second. We do have the command ! Leaderboard that you guys can take a look if you want to. And we'll have that hopefully in another minute for you guys so you can take a look here.
Right now, though, we're just taking a little bit to loot up. We're on board with Abnormal. Seem to have locked down the Yaznaya drop for today. Exchanging a little bit of loot here before we hop in the Esports dossier and begin our journey to zone. It's going to be a short one as we already are in the edge here. If you take a look at your map really quickly, but there is a lot of more highly desired spots that they're going to be trying to head across the bridge early and lock one of those down.
Yeah, the few compounds open here, compound across from apartments, Mini Roz, as some people say, J compound. We also have Volcano Hill and the two compounds over here. It looks like they're going to cross the bridge, though, Stenta. I wonder where they're going to go. ABN, again, one of the winners so far. We've had 10 matches so far for NA. Is that right, Stento? I think so. As we concluded yesterday, and ABN is the winners of one of those matches. And have been playing
we had a good We've had a good spread of different winners. There's a few teams who have really stood out in the NA section so far. Both of them are on the sidelines tonight. That's going to be Affinity, I believe, is going to be at the top of our scoreboard, followed up by CK. But once again, those two teams have played a total of 10 matches each. And again, it looks like we're seeing a little bit pop off in the hospital area. I'm seeing Noxy pick up a kill on the kill feed. That's going to be IREC going down. And Vigorous seem to have a little bit of control of this hospital hill area. Shadow's going to need to be careful here, excuse me, for the Bloodhounds, as they're a little bit strewn about here. Vigorous a little more tightly packed on this hospital hill, and actually have prod into hospital here. So first action of the day has happened, and Noxy on the kill feed for, excuse me, Kidzo on the kill feed for Vigorous here.
Yeah, I was trying to catch where Vigorous was. So, yeah, two members were on this hill. The other two members are kind of split out. You mentioned Prodigy being in the actual hospital stuff. Looks like Stiffy got this vehicle and is going to go for the pickup. The rest of BH is heading in. I don't know if they're leaving Shadow or what, but the rest of BH is kind of at Georgia Pole crates. Could potentially run into P9, who is rotating just north of them.
Yeah, this is an interesting circle so far, Blitz. If you do take a look at your map, ladies and gentlemen, most of the teams are deciding they want to settle up on the south side of this river that kind of extends through the center of zone. So almost virtually all of the northern side of the map around shooting range and to the southeast side is wide open right now. So it would be very interesting if we do have a drastic shift up to the north here, Blitz. We're going to see kind of a mass transition here from all our teams pushing over that river.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of those shifts in our previous games. Kind of thinking this one might be a little bit more simple, but we'll find out. Looks like we might have some action at this compound right outside of the apartments. One of the members of RR is getting crashed. It looks like he got a knock. We're on board with his perspective because he's going to be the one trying to defend here. Looks like his team, one team member at least, is pulling up here to potentially help out. Nade coming in. Oh, it was actually a stun. Out of vision, but no one was there for the follow-up on that.
Yeah, this is interesting. It's only one member of RR that has pulled up to help. The rest of SSG, excuse me, is full on push this building. And they're going to two-stack Cake here, I believe. That's going to be 3MM and Soup. Very good job there pushing in together as a unit to get rid of the solo. Unfortunately, RR has to cut and run. So good job by SSG, making sure they stay 4 strong and get rid of the handicap solo in this location. The rest of RR is going to head over to the J compound. We're seeing
more
some
fighting right now.
action. Yeah, break out on this pretty popular compound here. I think we call it SLG. It's going to be the Crazy Mob versus Eno, and we're just tapping over to this perspective as both teams kind of pulling up to help each other out here. One of the Crazy Mob members is already down as Droppa and Eno kind of engage here. Droppa's going to win that 1v1. So now we've got a clean 3v3 going on here. Slumpto with another knock here, evening the stakes even further. So now it's going to be up to T48 and Verbal to kind of hold on versus a 3-man Crazy Mob here.
Yeah, 3v2 situation. Droppa is on the hunt right now, and this is going to be a good nade. He's going to not throw quick enough, but teammate was there to help him get that knock, and Droppa just playing super quick here. Slumpto getting the flush there, but I think Verbal popped out of the window, got Bliv, but then the rest of Crazy Mob able to finish up there, and they're going to be able to get that res off and be 3 strong unless we see a crash, but I don't think Winter Circle is close enough nearby. They're just kind of spectating what happened there.
Yeah, some nifty work out of Droppa. I feel like we talked about Crazy Mob a couple times yesterday, and it was always Droppa as the last one alive here. So they win that fight versus Team Eno. 4 kills going to the Crazy Mob boys. 3 of them to Droppa there, and you could just see the nifty work by him there. Again, he had a nade in his hand, and you know the Eno member heard the pin pull and charged out, and he was able to get rid of that nade, and I think with a little bit of help from his friends, but still actually was able to get the knock on that push. So that was some impressive work to get rid of that nade and get his gun back out really quickly there.
Yeah, that was really good. I really thought he was going down there for sure. And while we don't have the fancy pop-up link, having a little bit of issue with that, I do want to bring up the full scoreboards just so you guys can see, because I'd like to start off with showing you guys what we have going on in the top list here. So we have again, some of these teams have not played equal amounts. After today, everyone will be have played the same amount, so it'll be really nice to look at the scoreboard after today's games. But going into today, Affinity is in first place with 117 points. Console Killers are right behind them. They've won a few games, so they've been playing really strong. Seven Kings is in third, and they didn't play yesterday, Stento, so that's really good news for them potentially. Then we have Toxic in fourth with 57, Torch in fifth, Vigorous in sixth, Dub Hub in seventh, Winner Circle in eighth, and then you can see there's a lot of teams in that 50 to kind of 30s range, and then obviously everybody's kind of just packed in, so a lot of potential to still to level up here.
Yeah, I actually like this view because the normal scoreboard doesn't show some of these things. So our viewers back at home can see which of these teams have played 5 versus 10 matches. And as you can see, Affinity and Console Killers separating themselves as of now. The name of the game tonight is going to be to close that gap for the rest of these teams.
Yeah, for sure. And we're on board with Winner Circle again is our 8th place team. They played 5 matches and so they're in a good spot. You know, they're just 13 behind 7 Kings who've played the same games as them. And they've been playing pretty well, Sento. And it's kind of hard to keep track now because we have a lot of these teams have their EU counterparts, right? So there's a Winner Circle for EU now, right, Sento? So we have to kind of remember, you know, what team is doing well for what region.
Yeah, and it's likely we see some orgs clash with their EU counterparts in the finals. Blitz, I need a quick screen flip when you do get a second.
Oh
here,
yeah,
but,
sure.
Lots of teams setting into motion here, trying to figure out what they're going to take for this phase 2 shift, which is favored Naya a little bit. Volcano Halo is kind of centered up. Several teams, mainly Winner's Circle, in a really good spot here right now, but we're seeing a little bit of carnage break out between Crazy Mob and Tremi, and who other to get the first knock other than Droppa. He's been absolutely fragging out for these guys here, and he already has 4 kills early in game 1 here, Blitz.
Yeah, this is a great start for Crazy Mob, who kind of seems to be one of those teams that goes on those runs for a little while. Like sometimes they'll struggle and then go on a big run. So this could be great momentum for them for game 1.
Yeah, and I love that we're staying on board with Droppa. He just switched the 4x scope onto the barrel. He's going to switch back to the 8x on the SLR right now. He got Boat a little bit weak there, but that is no slouch that he is shooting at. Boatman, one of our leading kill leaders going into today, and he's only played 5 games. Droppa showing what he can do with the 4x on the scope there. Does take Boatman down as the rest of the Team Toxic crashes here, but the timing with the knock onto Boat is going to be a little bit tricky for them now. They're playing the kind of low side of that ridge. They've got a little bit of trees to work with, and unfortunately it's just going to be Onyx and Triple OG as they've already lost their team member Tremis here. So Crazy Mob holding strong as a 3-man. Droppa kind of playing the anchor support role, making sure his teammate could get that revive off there, and Boatman paid for that while he was trying to get some shots down. But Triple OG is considering a revive here. As you can see, he's beginning to kind of wrap away from this situation and consider getting back to Boatman. Very interesting what it would be going on in that party right now, but as you can see, Triple OG not exactly sure if that's a play he can make. He's running back to his teammate now. I think they're going to cut the loss of Boatman here.
Yeah, while we wait and see what happens, I just wanted to pop over. It looks like RMV crashed on RR. The 3-man squad of RR was here at the J compound. Now they're just down to Crack, and he's going to go down. RMV takes this compound. Wheeler and Jumar are knocked, but Brand should be able to get them up, and then they should be able to get back to 3 strong. They've successfully taken J compound.
Yeah, we did get over there a little bit late, hanging on to that Crazy Mob fight a little bit too long. But RMV are going to successfully win that crash. They're going to lose 1 member in the process, but I believe Wheeler and Jumar are going to be able to get back up to 3 strong here, and they're going to have one of the strongest spots right now. But phase 3 is about to shift up, and it is going a little bit to the northeast once again. So take a look at your map, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of wide open farm field to the south side of Naya right now, and several teams already taking very decent compounds. I want to point out the compound that you're kind of hovering over there. A very strong compound is wide open for someone who does scout and crash that center compound there.
Yeah, so this is a great compound. Oftentimes you'll see potentially, you know, 2 teams hold this, one on the north side, and Vigorous is going for that north side right now with 7K. So 2 heavy hitters taking this compound. And then we also have to remember, Sento, that the bunkers here, or the craters get played pretty often, and sometimes even 2 teams could play in here depending on how close the circle gets to that area.
Yeah, you know, if that next circle shifts into this farm field, so we're gonna see some people playing those craters. Very, very possible to hang out there. And if you're not gonna hang out there, pull up there, scout your next move. We see a lot of teams doing that. Right now, as you can see on your map, the rest of the 7 Kings are gonna group up into that compound. We were kind of just calling out. So some good scouting being done by Warhawk and the 7 King fellas there. They do have the winner circle just to their south side, beginning to trade a little bit of shots out. But for now, 13 teams, 43 alive as we approach the 15-minute mark. And a lot of teams are comfortable for now, but we'll have to keep a close eye on the map. One thing I want to point out is BH 3-man is coming in all the way from the west side. So they're going to have very little to work with there, as SI and the 187Z is already establishing the edge of the west side of zone there. So BH is going to need to be careful as they're pulling up to do a little bit of safe scouting here rather than just kind of blazing in.
Yeah, for sure. I was kind of just admiring that, you know, I keep laughing that we didn't realize at first that 7K was the team that it was with their names being backwards.
Yeah.
And right there, that's Linkadox is now playing on their team. I was looking at them, I'm like, whose name is this spelled backwards? Then I realized it is Linkadox there. Another great player and kind of veteran of the PUBG console competitive scene. SI picking up a kill. Last member of GE Musty, who they were skirmishing with the Bloodhound gang over here outside of zone. They're still trying to make their way in, but they were skirmishing earlier on that west side. They might run into 187. I'm going to tap into their perspective and probably switch to 187 as they go around here, because 187 might have a viewpoint. Every other team now is kind of just cozy in their compound. Let's see if Mistake can get a knock out of the US. Did a lot of blood there, but no knocks. Can one of the members follow up with some additional shots? Red's in a perfect spot, gets Shadow out, switched at the perfect time. Muerte is right there underneath the building. But
yeah, some great shots out of the ace of Red. Some headshots are going to land onto Shadow. And this is turning into a sticky situation. Blitz phase 4 in the blue. Red's going to push out to try to help out. Mistake here. The Thirst is going to come out onto that kill, but this chunks by 3 HP for every hit there. So these guys got to be careful here. Mistake is in a little bit of a one-on-one situation, as you can see in that furthest southwest apartment. A knock. Thirst is going to go down onto Legend. I didn't exactly see when that knock came down.
Just died
part
of
that
blue.
crash.
I don't. Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I didn't see if that just happened to blue or if he actually got shot on the way in here. But this is a little bit of a multi-pronged battle. Insane is in zone here with a little bit of a one-on-one with Freight. And Muerte is just kind of hanging in blue as the 187Zs try to regroup a little bit here, but it's only 10 seconds until zone moves, so they really need to consider getting in a car or figuring their exit strategy from these apartments. We know they land here. We know they know how to play them, and it's going to be Red that's going to start things off here, trying to get out of here. But Freight with the barrel landing some impressive shots, flips to the SKS for the Thirst, and Muerte comes from the backside to take Insane down. So unfortunate for the 187Zs in their home of apartments here. They're not actually able to escape, and the Bloodhounds hanging strong here as a 2-man, picking up some pretty important kill points.
Yeah, honestly, Stento, this is the worst case scenario for them. They literally were just trying to pick up a kill on the drive-by, and then now they've lost how many members? Is it just Mistake at this point? They've lost everybody, Stento, off just trying to get a kill on a drive-by. They would have ultimately been better just not even shooting at this team, and now Bloodhound's going to lose. Free and Muerte might go down as well. So this was just kind of a lose-lose for both teams. Such a PUBG moment. You know, you just try to get that kill, ends up backfiring on you. We've all been there, and not a great way to start off the tournament, but it's okay. It's only game 1.
Yeah, we've got plenty of PUBG to play tonight. If you were here for the beginning introduction, we've got 5 maps tonight. It's going to be 2 Erangles, 2 Miramars, and then we're going to finish up with 1 more Erangle. So stay tuned with us tonight. We've got a amazing show for you as some of the best North American PUBG console players battle it out. Take a quick look at your map blitz. We have shifted further into this farm field, and those craters we were talking about still wide open.
Yeah, they're center now.
PXC, Winner Circle, 7 Kings. Lots of teams are going to be in a good spot. And we might see something pop off between ABN and Shooter's Instinct here. We're tuning into Boat here. He's got the AK and the Bolty trying to put it to use here. First knock is out from Tony and Carm. Paulo Sam is down. Laser is down. It's actually just Panda left. Very tough situation here for Shooter's Instinct trying to come off of this edge. ABN is holding quite strong.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to tap in here, because they had the perfect gatekeep SI in such a difficult position. Panda, the last one left. And the circle shifted actually towards their way. Seven Kings really happy about this circle shift. A few teams on the outside are going to have to try to rotate in. We're definitely going to see a team crash those creators for sure. SI Panda finally goes down to the blue. And ABN has a choice that they need to make, Sento, because they only have so much further they can go in here. They're not going to be really in zone. They could potentially lay down here, but they might be seen from Seven Kings. It's going to be a hard push, and it's really hard to kind of push on this compound from that angle.
Yeah, I'm watching Vigorous right now. They're trying to get a little bit of a spread, excuse me, on the north side.
I like this.
Of the
Really
farm
smart
field
to get
here.
this early spread, right?
Yeah, I love that. The only thing is they're kind of pulled up, and P9 is here. Stiffy does get a nice knock here, but Wag is pulled up in a good spot on this crate to kind of trade out here. So Vigorous has a little bit of a tall task now to get this revive off. Wag is switched to the frag grenade to try to throw that over here.
I like this, but Kidzo picked him up and is moving.
Picked up his teammate and moved away from the frag threat. Noxy is kind of playing an anchor role in the compound still, watching over, and Wag is not going to be able to confirm that kill. Vigorous is going to regroup here, in both knocks for each team are going to get revived. As the phase 5 circle shifts in here, we still have 1 minute and 40 seconds. So lots of teams moving as we speak.
ABN trying to get in. They just crashed the side of this compound. Tony's here. He might get shot from behind, though. Oh, ABN's kind of fighting 2 battles. Noxy's actually fighting 3 people in 1 here. Right in front of him, going to go for an underhand nade. He only has 33 health, so he needs a revive. Team is coming to help and throw some nades. I'm going to go to aerial view because ABN is pushing into the compound. Psycho rotating. Noxy got knocked. Kidzo with a big nade. Toady goes down to 7 Kings.
And that's another big nade. That's 2 members. Actually, it's going to be Tacticals from the other side that takes out one of those ABN members. So now it's going to be up to Kidzo to get Noxy up. He's head-to-head with the final member there, and it's actually Stiffy, I believe, from long range that takes down Psycho with some nice barrel spray. So Vigorous doing a good job to recover 2 different knocks here, 1 onto Stiffy, 1 onto Noxy here, but they have the 7 Kings with full focus now just south of them in that compound we've talked about so much now. And Vigorous is on the edge of zone here, so they're going to need plenty of util to work with this here. We switched over to the Crazy Mob now in a little bit of a scrap with SSG. We got there a little bit late. Apologize, I was looking somewhere else there, Blitz, but we do see Crazy Mob 10 kills now as they wipe that team.
And they have 1 member of Toxic who they were fighting earlier left in front of them. Or is that Toxic on a split? Excuse me. Toxic is on a split. One of them is in the craters. Triple OG has moved up into the building. Vigorous now in a tough spot if you look at the map because they're stuck north. They have 7 Kings and P9 in front of them. 7 Kings, I think, the last remaining team with 4 players. And just like that, Senator, we're down to 5 teams. This is really quick here. Phase 6, 5 teams.
Yeah, this was definitely a messy zone. A lot of mutual carnage between teams on edge trying to push in. And yeah, you don't see this very often with just 22 minutes have gone. We only have 13 players alive in the form of 5 teams. Yeah, the farm fields is the feature of this final zone right now, Blitz. Those craters are still wide open as we kind of look around from above now. And I think we're going to see Vigorous potentially try to favor the P9 side. They got to, think about pushing each way. They're kind of spreading out here, which I like. Noxy is sneaking his way into this compound. Tap into Noxy's perspective here, Blitz. He has a great peek here, and he's kind of snuck up just to kind of see what he can see about the 7 Kings. He's going to need to be careful, though. There's so many people here. Actually, 2 members of 7 Kings have rotated into those dips we keep mentioning, and Noxy is going to kind of back off here. I love the aggressiveness that he takes sometimes to try to get some kills, but it's actually Stiffy picking up another knock onto P9. I think they're going to try to rotate away from 7 Kings here and onto P9.
They need to push this on P9 and take this. I'm surprised they didn't get in the cars and try to crash maybe one of the dips there. Little did they know, they were open, but now they're not. 7 Kings just took it, so now their really only option is to fight through P9. And since they got that knock, they do have a possibility of taking this out.
Yeah, Stiffy letting that 3x on the barrel go to work. He put one of the members of P9 down there pretty weak, but wasn't able to get a complete knock.
Noxy goes down.
Ben stepping up for P9 time and again here, gets a knock onto Noxy, and already having lost Kizzo, it's just Stiffy and Prodigy here, and they're deciding to play aggressive here. They've got a good amount of util already down on the field. They're considering dropping off to get this res onto Noxy.
I kind of like that.
More veteran players here, Noxy, so it's definitely worth getting him up as they continue to fight this two-man of P9, which is hanging strong. I think the third parties are starting to play a little bit of a factor here as Seven Kings are getting a little bit curious from those dips with their DMRs, starting to ring some shots out here. A couple other teams in the form of two-mans, TXC and Crazy Mob on the south side of zone, starting to poke their way in here, but all the focus is going to be on Vigorous and P9 on this north side as they try to work their way in, and Noxy actually going to go down to blue there with a little bit of pressure from P9. Wag getting a knock on to Stiffy as well here. He's going to go for one more. He needs to get it, but it's actually Prodigy that wins that 1v1. He's prone in the grass here. I think Blue Zone might actually be the final culprit here. In gosh, Wag is going to go down to one of the Seven Kings as well. So now we've got four-man for the Seven Kings in the dips here. They're going to get a revive off, and several other broken teams. A two-man for Toxic, a two-man for Crazy Mob, and just a solo now for P9, and that's going to go down. Warhawk using that mini like we know he can, long range, and just getting up those getting those kills very quickly here. So again, now we're down to our final three teams as we're on board with Warhawk here. He's got the 8x on that mini as he tries to find the two broken teams left. Just 4 players in Team 19 and Team 12.
Yeah, we're tapping the Seven Kings. We haven't been watching them too much because they're 4 strong. I figured we should take a look at their perspective. It's amazing that TXC has made it this long until right now. Linkadoc's there with the kill on to Triple OG.
Yeah, what's interesting here, Blitz, is they got the knock on to Triple OG, but the other part of Team Toxic is already into these dips. Seven Kings kind of starting to take over the rest of this lobby here. They're looking for as much as they can. Now that member 4... Toxic is starting to ring some shots out here, but Seven King is tightly packed. But here you go. Onyx from the west side gets a knock onto Linkadox here, and now this turns into a little bit more interesting situation. Another revive is happening onto Quavo here. That's going to be Warhawk. So I think that the Seven Kings are going to get up to 3 strong here. Going to be a little bit of a 3v1 versus Onyx now.
Yeah, and Onyx is in a really tough spot because he's out of zone. Really, they needed Crazy Mob to get one more knock there for Onyx to have a chance to push up and maybe have a 1v2 situation or even 1v1 here. But now that it's 1v3, I think this is going to be, I don't want to say impossible, but close to it just because of the circle here. Unless they get kind of cocky and push 1v1, you know, sometimes that does happen. Tacticals here going through some molly throws. Again, this team, they all have their names reversed, so if you don't recognize their name, I mean, that's how things happen. He runs in front of the molly. They're on fire. If Onyx realized this, he could have popped up.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to see it now, though, Stento. He can't capitalize on it yet, though.
Let's get into his perspective.
Will he push up, please? Now is the time.
He's got to go now. There's no revive happening. Warhawk is kind of just watching over, so Onyx taking it as carefully as he can. He gets put down to 6 HP. He will be able to get this heal off, and he does have 2 smokes left. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can make another little 1v1 situation happen. He's going to need to make it quick.
He does! Brings it to 1v1, but the Groza from Quavo finishes him off. There was a hint of possibility, especially after that molly happened. I was literally telling you something. I'm like, there always could be a chance, you know, if they make a mistake here as the molly hits the back of that guy.
Some amazing patience there from Onyx to just kind of poke each side and see what he could see. But Quavo was there for the quick trade there, and it's going to be Seven Kings picking up the 9-kill chicken dinner. Just 2 kills for Team Toxic in second place here, and rounding out the top 3 for the first game of the evening is the Crazy Mob with 10 kills, really starting to get it cooking there in match 1.
Yeah, let's say hello to everybody for the first game of day 3 for NA. Again, some people were messaging me. EU is not playing today. They're only going to be playing on Monday and Tuesday. NA will be doing 3 different days because they do have an extra set of teams with 24 full teams. And that was a pretty interesting game 1. I like that circle. We haven't seen that so far in the event. And but really, because Seven Kings were able to have 4 strong, it really seemed like it was kind of favor for them, even though it ended up being pretty close. But a lot of great play there again to start off day 1. What do you think, Stenta?
Yeah, definitely a very interesting match 1. I think what stands out to me is how dwindled the lobby got kind of early. It was a difficult circle, but it was kind of just a few different battles that took place on the edge of zone where kind of neither team really made it out. And we were looking at like phase 6 there with just 13 players or something.
Yeah.
So it was a weird game one. Seven Kings kind of take it. It again, it got a little close there at the end by some good plays by Onyx and a little accidental Molly situation there, but Quavo cleans it up. And first win of the day is going to jump those guys pretty close to our top two teams. We'll make sure we get the scoreboard drop down fixed in this quick intermission here, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll be back on game 2 on Erangel in just a few moments.
All right, welcome everybody to day three, excuse me, of the NA versus EU showdown right now. This is our NA participants playing. We have Group B versus Group C because this is day 3. We're going to go through a little intro here because we recognize that some people probably just showed up to the event. Thank you guys for checking this out. We're going to be running for the month of June and then having our very end of the finals in the first weekend of July. We have our regular season prizes, $1,000 on the line for the beginning regular season. Then we have a whopping $4,000 in prizes for the finals. So the regular season is over the next 3 weeks and then 2 weeks of playoffs. So this is really exciting. Hope you guys are enjoying it. This is just a lot of fun action here and, you know, a lot of great kind of production. Big shout out to everybody at Main Gaming. Here's our daily map rotation that we're going to be doing each day during the week, Monday through Wednesday. 5 matches you can see here, 3 on Erangel, 2 on Miramar. Here is the flight path right now, but before we get into all the drop spots, we do want to update you guys with some of the scoreboard and kills. Obviously, the last game hasn't updated yet. It just finished, but here is where we're at going into today.
Yeah, absolutely. So for a lot of these teams, they've only played 5 matches. Some of the teams towards the top, like Affinity and Console Killers, they've played 10. By the end of today's event, everyone on this leaderboard will have played 10 matches. So we'll have a much better idea of those standings. But right now, standing at the top is Affinity with 117, Console Killers with 110, and then teams like Seven Kings, Toxic, and Torch chasing close behind in the 60 range, and will be much closer by the end of tonight because Affinity and Console Killers are not playing. But it's important to notice that the real goal here is for these teams to get into the top 9. If you get into the top 9, you will be punching yourself a ticket to the $4,000 finals, where you'll be playing against a handful of the top EU teams. So our playing path, Blitz, we do have some more stats to check out. Our kill leaders through the first 2 days of the event is going to be CK Pixel, followed by Zelodi, Boatman for Team Toxic, followed by a couple other AFI members. So clearly Affinity doing a big number on the kill board here with 3 of their members hanging out in the top 5 kills. We'll take a quick peek at the damage as well. A lot of similar names up there. Hobie leading the way, over 4,000 in damage through the first 2 days is just absolutely insane. Pixel close behind, Zelodi, Wiz for Torch, and then a member of Ascension Esports, Rain. So a little bit of a variety in the damage dealt there, but match 2 of the night has been taken off, and if you didn't quite catch it, it was about a Zarky down the military base plane path, and as you can see, first circle has shifted pretty drastically up to the north there.
Yeah, pretty, I don't want to say rare circle, but anytime Zarky's in a circle, I would consider it rare, because Zarky's one of those spots that you land and the zone's never up there. So it would be interesting to see. Sorry, I hit the map button a couple times here, but it'd be interesting to see if the zone goes up that way. Most likely will. I mean, a lot of it's in the water here. I could really imagine it being on this top side. I doubt it's going to go back to Mount Everest, but you never know. Something I wanted to point out here is that 187 has been uncontested today in this area, and Eno dropped school. So I don't think this is where they dropped last game. 187's been playing very aggressive. So they've been pushing teams at school when they drop there. So we'll see if they make a push after they get looted up.
Yeah, the 187Z squad has been very entertaining to watch. Not afraid to kind of jump into a fight or push a solo or any of those early game action that we've seen them get into. So it looks like they have a couple, maybe one different player. I haven't seen Red with them play too much, so it's nice to see Red get out and join the boys here. So good luck to her tonight, and hopefully we'll see these 187Zs get into some more action here tonight. But take a quick look at your map, Blitz. There's a lot of wide open terrain for these teams to roll into right now, and I think we're going to see a lot of the action kind of take place with some of these bridges that people have to cross as they try to get over the water early here and kind of into the shooting range. Plane crash area up there is probably where we're going to see a lot of teams try to get early, because we know this is eventually going to shift off of the water on the north side. It's just a really interesting zone with a good amount of limited land there. As you can see, the George Pool water and the water to the north, just really gonna be maybe a lot of action happening early on as well with these squads.
Yeah, I'm really curious if who's going to stop here to block any of these spots. Again, we haven't seen anybody really hold this spot today as we're kind of stuck in the land there. I feel like this is such a good spot to kind of hold and hide behind people crossing this bridge, but nobody's stopping there yet. Everyone's kind of just going through. Again, this position here is, everyone knows about this. I feel like most people tend to avoid this spot at this point. It looks like Seven Kings are dropping in. I don't know if we saw an emergency pickup in game one. Seven Kings going to use this first one in game so far, I think. Do they have a vehicle?
I wish Dwyer had a way to track the most emergency pickups, and we could pop that up with most kills and most damage, because that would be my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, if this, again, this is like a newly added thing into PUBG and into ranked, or not extremely new to PUBG, but it's actually been around for a while now, if you think about it, because this was available on old Vikendi. But new to rank, so I wonder if eventually they'll have more stats about it. We kind of mentioned that yesterday. It'd be interesting to see, because it just changes the dynamic so much. Stento and I have seen, or if you guys have been watching, you've seen it as well. A couple successful ones, couple failed ones. They've been used a lot, so I guess probably more successful ones than complete fails. A lot of times they kind of go, like one person gets lost and that's about it. But hey, that's about what will happen when you crash, right? So it's probably a similar success rate so far.
Yeah, I honestly, I feel like I mentioned it in one of our other broadcasts here, but I feel like you're either hit or miss with those airlifts. You're either going to like land on roofs and wipe a squad, or you're going to get shot out of the air and lose half your team. We've seen some very kind of monumental plays and some rounds ruined at the same time out of those airlifts. So it just such an interesting dynamic making the call to bring those into PUBG Esports. But taking a look at our map, several teams kind of moving into the center zone here. You see the 187Zs take that compound over there by Crossroads. We have GE and Shooter's Instinct hanging out in the center here near Abnormal. So lots of teams also on that Roshawk highway that extends to George Pool here, hanging out in the south center south side of zone there. So going to be interesting to see where these first couple of shifts go, Blitz. Again, I kind of expected some early action here, but we haven't seen anyone drop yet.
No dropped. And we should mention that we are currently missing one team. So we have 60 players in this lobby. But I don't think that's why we are seeing less action here. Players, I think, usually the initial games go a little slower. Check this out, Stento. Crazy Mob is going to be passing Bloodhound. We saw Main Gaming block this bridge, or actually get blocked yesterday by AFI, I think, potentially, or another team. So quiet here, Stento. Crazy Mob, I'm guessing, is suspicious. Everyone is so paranoid in these games, as we talked about yesterday, over rotating, right? When sometimes, again, if you just went the simple path here, it might be easier than going for this Georgia Pole Bridge. The Georgia Pole Bridge in competitive play is so risky. In the casual match, nobody's even over there. But in competitive play, people love to play that area so much that it actually ends up becoming a pretty risky rotation. Prodigy being smart here, checking this bridge as well and going for a tire, which is actually, so valuable, having those vehicles. Seeing some skirmishing on the middle of the map. We might tap over there if there's some more action going on from GE, kind of shooting at SI. SI got taken out kind of like mid-game, so this could be bad for them if they go out early.
Yeah, and I think GE did just get a knock, maybe a thirst. Maybe we should try to get over there and see exactly what's going on. I think Laser has actually been full confirmed up on that hill, and Paulo Sam is knocked. So some heat being laid down onto Shooter's Instinct from Gemini Esports down on the low west side here. It's a very interesting compound to hold. They're gonna be in a good spot right now, center zone, but that being in a valley down there, you just got to make sure you keep your cars safe, and kind of a limited ability to kind of frag from that spot right now. But I do see a lot of circles end where Gemini Esports is in this compound, so they're going to be in a very good spot for a little bit here. But we'll just wait until phase 1 circles up right now. But still only lost 2 players so far here, Blitz, as we approach the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, and check this out, Sento. Now we have Crazy Mob stopped to scope out Bloodhound. Now Winter Circle stopped to scope out Crazy Mob. Nobody's crossing the bridge. I mean, they're all in circles, so they're okay, which is good. But it's just so funny, you know, how this plays out, that all these teams are just stopping to kind of scope each other out. And looks like Vigorous is committing to just staying at this compound instead of risking the cross right now, because the small chance it could pop back over. But they're also giving some other teams to set up the block here. So now SSG's committed to this compound. Seven Kings are completely blocking this intersection. So the longer they wait, the longer it's going to be harder to cross. And right now, Kofrai just spotted Bliv. Bliv's out on his own. Support shots coming in from Slumpto. Really quick shots coming in on the mini. And they're going for that quick flush. Kofrai's going to go down. And he's been playing a big role for Winter Circle right now.
Yeah, we definitely saw a strong finish out of Kofrai. I remember he had the FAMAS in his hand yesterday. So definitely, I think that's their IGL. So going to be a big loss for them. But the Crazy Mob is picking up where they left off in match 1 here, Blitz. They had 10 kills and a decent finish. Slumpto is going to pick up the first one of match 2 for them. And they got some good shots on the rotating other members of Winter Circle here. Not going to connect on anything right now, and this is interesting because there's 3 teams here very far outside of zone. Blue's going to be coming here pretty shortly.
Yeah, I want to see how far Winter Circle is going to go here. Are they going to crash? Seems like all of the competitive teams love to stop at this building. Was that meant to stop? I don't think so. I think he's going to continue. Now Bloodhang's getting ready to pop out of these windows, trying to catch Shadow. Here is going to get some shots, got a tire, and then takes out Shanks. We caught it at the perfect time. Bloodhound taking out the rest of Winter Circle. They're not going to be happy about this rotation. They got killed, lost 1 member, then tried to just force it on this bridge, and it did not work out.
Yeah, once they got by the Crazy Mob, they kind of didn't really realize that there was another 4-man in the Bloodhounds kind of camping this bridge. So they kind of thought that they got around and might have been out of there, but just a whole nother team waiting for them. We're seeing some more knocks break out on the kill feed. That's going to be Prod. We see this guy time and again picking up
with the DMR, right?
DMR knocks, yes. And I just won't forget it. Vigorous taking a little bit of a split here. As you can see, Noxy has gained a little bit more zone on this ridge, a very popular ridge. And we oftentimes do see games end in this area. It's a little bit closer of a circle 2 shooting range, but Vigorous is going to be in a good spot right now. You're seeing them send another, that's actually Prod taking another car, getting over to Noxy's area. So Vigorous doing this 2-2 split that we often talk about. It works out really good if you can make sure you keep your full 4-man up. Vigorous is one of those teams that we have discussed struggle at times keeping 4 deep, losing players early on. So I'm going to be paying attention to this 2-2 split that they've got. And they're going to need to be careful because they've got a couple of 4-mans in the form of SSG and all of these guys in George Pool still that are potentially taking an airlift. What are we looking at over here in the blue, Blitz? Still 2 teams in a little bit of a standoff here. The Bloodhound team has pushed closer to Crazy Mob, and I'm not exactly sure
why they're sticking around for this fight, right? Like, you think they'd want to just leave and get in at this point, but
yeah, the interesting thing though is Blitz is Circle is not crazy far away, and this is only phase 2 to phase 3. Phase 3 doesn't even hurt that much, maybe still 1 HP are the chunks. So Bloodhounds did push up, but they're gonna get in their cars and kind of shift out of this. I'm not sure if they just took all of the vehicles or Crazy Mob has a vehicle of their own. It looks like maybe Slumpto has a UAZ behind this house. I'm kind of trying to get a different angle, and yeah, he does. But I don't know if that's going to be any good. They're kind of just looking around over here. And while we do take a look at our map for the next shift, it's going to go far to the north here, guys. Shooting range and that ridge to the north of shooting range is a pretty much centered up now, and we'll have to keep a close eye on that team in shooting range, Toxic. As soon as they get into action, they're one of our teams that is primed up for an Astro A40 listen in tonight. So we'll make sure that if they do get into a good battle, that we jump into their party and give you guys some a little bit of a taste of what it's like with some of these pro comms.
Interesting rotation from RR taking the boat on the very north side. This is a little delayed, Sento, but I'm so curious why SSG left this compound and that let Vigorous take it over. They could have just stayed there and kind of gate kept Vigorous, but they actually moved over. A little late on that point out, but that happened before, and I was just a little confused by that. But anyways, we've moved on from that. GE getting very close to SI here. We're going to tap into their perspective. They already got Laser down. They had knocked Paulo Sam, so SI is going to be looking for some revenge right now.
Yeah, Red Eye got tagged on the tree there, and so he's looking for a little bit of help from the rest of the Gemini Esports boys here, but this is a very difficult fight because I think it's going to be only a matter of time before the Gemini Esports team, yeah, there you go, starts to get third-partied. They're considering getting in cars and moving somewhere else. Red Eye is going to lead that charge because what was going to be a little bit of a fight between SI has now broken out. Vigorous has joined the party, and Solar takes down Noxy to start things off here, Blitz.
Yeah, that was a big knock onto Noxy. Loose rim, GE, looks like they're ready to fight here. Their movement, though, is a little slow, so this will come back to hurt them here because Loose rim goes down. Solar's going to get knocked, and now it's just down to Red Eye and Musty. Red Eye just took a nade here to the side. Musty goes down, so this quickly has switched around.
Wow. Vigorous dig it out. Unfortunately, they lost Noxy to start that fight, but I was watching from Stiffy's perspective some really clean picks there, peaks from the Stiff man, and him and Kidzo get the job done with 2 kills apiece. I love the angle that you got right now. It kind of quickly turned into a little bit of like a 4-team fight between Vigorous, ABN, Shooter's Instinct, and the team that just fell there. Slipping my mind right now. GE, but a couple teams have kind of backed off. Vigorous has regrouped as a 3-man now, so it kind of cooled off on that edge. A big fight is breaking out on the north side. Blitz, I'm getting over here a little bit late myself, but it's SSG versus RR. Knocks are on both sides right now. It's a 2v3 in the favor of RR. Tragic is gonna push Gamer here, but a nice name from Jalapeno saves Gamer, and now it's up to Jalapeno, a 2v1 versus Cake and Silvers here.
We're watching Silvers. They just taught him 2v1 in this building, and they're able to push them together here, put shots down together, and take out the rest of SSG.
Yeah, it was tough. We got over there a little late, so I'm not sure who crashed who, but that's a popular compound to try to get into at this point when these zones are difficult all the way up to the north here. But right now, it looks like TXC is getting into a little bit of a skirmish. Blitz versus Seven Kings. Why don't you get into their party, and then we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, let's take a look. I'm going to snap into their perspective. Give me 1 second. We will listen into them in just a moment here. We're going to pull in right now to TXC.
I'm nading directly on your blue, bro.
Naded that staircase.
All the way back.
He was peeking here. Yeah, bunkers is starting to look.
There was one pushing me on my right, too.
I'm gonna try to pull a buggy in so I can get on the roof real quick.
Okay.
Just don't know where any of the other ones are.
I'm about to get up top and look. Give me a second.
Assuming they're just playing
I'm
underneath the canopy.
I'm gonna be on roof now.
Gotcha. There's one outside a fence running in from the left. Yellow, 105, 105. I don't know if that's bunker team pushing or if that's
knocked one right here, bro. I'm
Yeah, there's a team in dip now on our east, too.
I'm nading him.
If it's on blue, bro, he should be by himself.
I think he is.
One's
It
further
sounds like
back.
another one's
Yeah.
170 still in the back, like edge.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if we can push this
No,
or
we
not,
can't.
but
We just need to find the last kid.
Oh, there's one close.
Literally
He's at the close
underneath
little
on
staircase.
blue.
I mollied that door that you have on blue.
no shot, bro. I'm gonna be safe outside.
Yeah.
You gotta quick res. They're going to Desto right now. Or not Desto, but Tack or whoever I knocked first.
Warhawk. He got knocked. Lincoln Doc's got knocked in the back, bro. It's just trouble and he should be going for res. We need to clean this. Like as a 4-man. Don't play
What I'm just got re-knocked, bro.
Yeah,
Just
Tag
up
was
the
full
wall.
dead from before. So yeah,
Yeah, hey, back smoke,
there's one
back
outside
smoke,
wall.
back
There's
smoke.
one on this
On my
wall.
orange.
245 also peeking at us
That might be a different team then, bro.
outside of chain link.
Yeah, it is. I'm healing.
On my pings where he was going to get that other res, TJ. They should jump inside wall by you, bro.
Tags on him.
play
He's
with
here,
him,
yellow.
bro.
There's a kid
I have
riding
no
a
more
bike
smokes.
down too.
So-
I don't know if I can get. I can't get out of here, bro. Stuck. I'm gonna try to get out.
I'm out of smoke, so one of the guys left to smoke you.
I'm good. And try to make this cross.
Try to get 200 way uphill. Just a, I don't. Somebody still playing
first
outside the
in,
corner of
though.
the fence, the little bowl
There's another,
yellow.
listen, there's another kid that
Somebody's
pulled up
on that
on orange, like
Yeah,
not
watch
part
your
of the
left,
team.
They're mollying them right now. There was just a molly
Car
on
pulling
that
up to the same bowl left side.
Got you, got you.
Might come around to the outside front. Or the actual front gate.
One's out back on orange again. He just went prone behind the gate.
Well, you have first aids or no?
I have two.
I only have 2, so
I have
I give you
0.
one. I give you one.
yeah.
I have 5 still. I can drop some.
They're playing back. They're playing back over here now.
Pushing into the house.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
bringing
Yeah,
some.
on the outside
one's
wall.
on my orange for sure. One of them was.
Here's the extra first aid. Here's an extra first aid.
Fuck him, though. One's so close, bro.
I don't see where he's peeking from.
Can't even get
Crawl
through
all the way
here. I
towards
don't...
me. Okay.
He was standing on top of some shit. He just naded.
Didn't make it. We're good. No.
Might be dead here. That's a bad name.
Hey, he's
There's another
Peeking
team
right through.
pushing from the west now, bro. We gotta play inside. Or the east, sorry.
he's right here, peeking.
Heard. You heard me on this east fence
Yep.
line though, right?
Yeah, heard.
All right, so we're back with Stento now. I decided to pull out. That was really good because literally the circle was heading towards shooting range, so there was so much happening there. But now the comms just came that they know they're surrounded on multiple angles and that they need to play slow and play inside. So I figured once we heard those comms, kind of time to dig out because they know that they're in a tough spot now because there's too many angles surrounding them. And again, just really clean, calm, collective comms there. Just seems like they're relaxing, you know, playing a casual match there during the competitive play, which is great to see. You know, that's how you need to be in these kind of environments.
Yeah, let me just say Boatman is becoming one of my favorite players to watch. In the middle of that intense battle there, he went and got a buggy, pulled it up so he could get the roof peak, and it led to the first knock. And it would have probably been the downfall of Seven Kings here if Quavo didn't throw just an insane nade that bounced off the roof over and knocked Boatman, which kind of set them back a little bit.
Totally,
and
they
allowed
were
Quavo to
surprised
kinda
by that.
scurry- Yeah,
that
like
knock.
allowed Quavo to scurry across, and Insane actually got a knock onto one of the Seven Kings there as well, but they were able to get that res as well. So Blitz, just like take a little bit of an aerial view of the shooting range right now. The Seven Kings are in a horrible spot in between 4 teams that are kind of surrounding that location right now. And Circle is kind of pulling out of shooting range into this wide open field where the Bloodhounds are, and a little bit of Vigorous as well. So lots of teams still need to kind of sneak their way into the edge here, but I think most of the action is going to break out in this shooting range zone. And just as I say that, Bloodhounds with a nice knock onto one of Fave's 9, who is still 4 deep on this north edge. So they don't really need to push in right now, but they're dealing with some third-party shots from the side. That's going to be Rico's Roughnecks up there on the hill looking over. But really right now, if you do take a look at your map, you just had a pretty good look at it. Bloodhounds are in the best position. Everyone else is kind of up in the air coming out of shooting range right now.
Yeah, so the Bloodhounds are in a good spot, but they have to lay low, and Vigorous is very close to them. All these teams need to kind of just do what they're doing right now, just lay down. Vigorous is not even trying to peek there with that ridge. Bloodhound kind of has to do the same thing nearby because there's not much to play. for them angle-wise. That's why I kind of want to catch what's going on in shooting range. Sorry for me
get
flying
over
around.
to shooting range and just kind of watch these players move around through this, because this is where it's going to go down. Shooter's Instinct is probably in the best spot here of all these teams to kind of wait on the outside, and maybe kind of step up in third party when they hear some of this go down. But Insane is getting awfully close to some of the 7 Kings here. We're in a great perspective. He hears the shot, sneaks up onto Warhawk. He's going to drop him with some nice M4 headies here, Blitz. I'm going to love this perspective from Insane. He is the IGL for this squad, so he's often both IGL and frag leader from this squad. And unfortunately, the third party from SI is going to take down Mistake now, and it's just tons of different third parties right now. Insane is going to switch over to actually 187 Red here. Is going to try to get the res off onto that knocked member. That's going to be Mistake. So back over to Insane here. He's kind of just covering now for the rest of the squad. He hears the DMRs over the top from Team Toxic, and he's kind of checking his back. Now that's actually his Team Legends going down to one of those Toxic members, Triple OG with the mini, taking him down. A good little aerial view of what 7 Kings is dealing with here, as now just a 2-man. It's Linkadox and Quavo trying to turn nothing into something here, Blitz, but they've just got so many teams surrounding them and little to work with. You're trying to get a knock. It's actually Kidzo on the kill feed with a bolty knock, getting thirsted out there. Nothing happening in his immediate vicinity. Linkadox looking for what he can get, but it's Paulo Sam from the outside with a nice nade. Oh my gosh, Blitz, there's just so much going on here. And now Panda trying to clean up some of the knocks. And finally, actually, Quavo picking up some good kill points there for the 7 Kings. I don't think he's been taken out now, but now as Shooter's Instincts begins to rotate away, Vig Stiffy has poked up, and those kills are getting knocked. Thirsted from Bloodhound. Kidzo and Stiffy playing a big role as a 2-man here, but Paulo Sam takes one of them out. Now he's got to take 2 of them out. Doing big work for Shooter's Instinct on the edge of zone here. Oh my goodness, Blitz. Paulo Sam can shoot.
Absolutely insane. The teams just went off. Stento just went off. After all those teams were there, TXC finally pulled the trigger and said, let's go in here and clean up what was going on there. They only have 4 kills though, but what's important for them is they're still alive. And right now we've finally reached our final 4v4v3v1 with that last member left from SI.
Check this out, Blitz. Phase 9 got a frag knock onto the Bloodhounds on the north side of zone. A full course led by Wag, as they often are. Blurtsy's right behind him, but Rex puts a stop to the push for now, but Blurtsy's there for the trade onto Freight. Now a nade from Shadows is going to put Blurtsy down. Fingers doing all he can, but it's Rex again with another big knock.
We have Rex trying to back up here. Needs to heal. Muerte putting down some smokes. Now TXC is kind of popping up from the back. I'm going to get back into their perspective because they're going to just kind of surround this third party, I think, Stento. These 2 teams, and they're already picking up some of the knocks here. That's onto Blurtsy. Bloodhound is in this death kind of pit right here.
This all happened so fast, Blitz. We're down to our final 3 teams. A couple of knocks onto 2 of them, and Toxic is just swarming. That is definitely the perspective to get into. I'm loving these peaks from Tremis right now with the 4x through the smoke. Takes down Irek, who was kind of the leader for the Bloodhounds right there on the frag side of things. So we'll take a look from both angles. It's actually one of the P9 members.
Yeah,
who gets a
Throwables
knockdown.
coming
I think
in here.
Onyx just saved Boatman right there as he was pushing in. So just still a little bit of a 3-team battle here. Boatman steps over the top. One of our kill leaders in the tournament right now takes down the 2 members of Phase 9. They're trying to figure out where in the smoke the final 2 members of the Bloodhounds are. A little bit of an errant stun there, but the Toxic team is gonna get it done. 11 kills and the chicken dinner, Blitz. What an ending.
Absolutely insane, man. We were kind of wondering when it was going to start getting crazy there. It was hard to kind of find the action. I was floating around a little bit. Sorry if I made anybody seasick, but then finally we got on board with Toxic and just saw them roll there, ending with 11 kills. So they're going to be stoked about that coming in first place. I'm sure they're very excited because at one point they were just pinned down there. Then Bloodhound coming in second place with 7 total kills, and P9 rounding out the top 3 with 3 total kills. Not a ton of kills, but they got to be happy about that placement. And then me and Sento will come say hello to you guys. Like I alluded to right there, Toxic has to be pretty stoked because they felt pretty good. They had the roof, they got that knock, but then they were getting knocked multiple times in a row, and it almost seemed like they were going to get stuck there and go down and get surrounded. But they were able to survive, be patient, which they're an aggressive team. You know, Boatman, a lot of those players, Chemi, they're very, very, very hyper aggressive players, but they're playing smart, waiting, and then getting aggressive. So that was huge. What do you think, Senta?
Yeah, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about in that match. The first thing is that crazy fight we watched. I know the viewers probably had a treat with the comms from Toxic as they were trying to fight Seven Kings, and the 187Zs were involved. But one thing I want to point out from that fight is the Seven Kings are so hard to kill. There was so many knocks on different sides of shooting range, and they're just able to, even as a 3-man or a 2-man trying to get a revive, able to get those revives off. And so those guys are so hard to kill. I think that's why they're one of the top teams, is that they're just so hard to kill, and they're really good at once a knock happens, getting them up. So again, that kind of stood out to me. But the other thing that obviously stood out to me was Team Toxic there. Being able to just kind of stay 4 deep through all the knocks and shooting range, and eventually at the right time pull out to the north side where that bunker is and kind of hold for the right time. It was pretty clear once Paulo Sam did some damage there and shooting range got cleared up, that those guys pushed out pretty aggressively, and there was just such a big fight going on between Phase 9 and the Bloodhounds there that Toxic just pushed with all sorts of angles, and were able to clean it up really easily. But that's just match 2 of the night, Blitz. We've got 3 more, and we're heading over to what?
The dusty desert of Miramar. Already game 3. Times are going by pretty fast now. But yeah, another great game there. We'll try to get some more comms, and then we'll also check in on the leaderboards at some point in the next game once that last game gets updated. We'll be right back, everybody. All right, welcome back everybody to day 3 of the NA versus EU showdown. Right now we are on game 3, heading to the dusty desert, as Sento loves to say. So figured I would show you guys the daily map rotation here. We have our competitors on the flight path. Again, this is teams Group B versus Group C. So you can look at those ending 2 lists there, final 2 lists. Check out some of the players and teams that are going to be in these matches over the course of the next 3 games. And then at the end of today, all of the teams will have played 10 matches, so we can finally kind of see where everybody is stacking up. And Miramar has been really exciting. I'm really happy that we have 2 matches on this map. Been kind of really enjoying this map again recently, especially with all the changes we've been talking about. Always some good action. 2 teams close to each other in Hacienda. And again, I'm Blitz5. This is, we're on my channel for this event. So thank you guys for visiting, Blitz5 and friends. We have our co-host, my friend, and also founder of Main Gaming, Mr. Stento Dento, aka Stento, here with me for all the games tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game 3. Welcome everybody to the Main Gaming NA versus EU showdown. Plane path kind of striped right through the center of the map. El Pozo over to just below El Ahazar, as you can see, and then circle pulling way to the bottom right side of your map there, giving us a slight hope of an island circle. But right now only 2 teams are in zone. That's going to be Crazy Mob in Los Leones and Rico's Roughnecks in Impala. I feel like we see this a lot, Blitz, is once the Miramar phase 1 pops, there's just so many teams. Like, again, we have 15 teams right now, so 13 to 15 teams just aren't even in zone, so they all have just ridiculous rotations ahead of them on Miramar.
Yeah, and again, we didn't see too many teams using the pickup. We saw 7K, 7 Kings use it early on, but not too many later on that I remember seeing that match. We were in the comms for a little bit, so I was kind of focused on the first person's perspective, not really seeing the late game rotations there. But Miramar is obviously such a big map for this, especially with the teams that land in the city. Ooh, looks like we might have some early game action here at Alcantara. In the warehouse here, Legend taking down Jalapeno. SSG's been struggling from some early losses in the previous games.
I love me some 187Zs though. They're always getting involved early. They never shy away from those early game fights, so that's exciting stuff. Picking up a quick kill. It's Legends, as you said. Red was right there for the thirst as well, and the rest of them are kind of spread out right now. Staking their claim in El Ahazar, excuse me for my pronunciation, but looks like the 187Zs potentially scaring off SSG here.
Yeah, now they're split. SSG, that is. They have a member north and 2 members going south. ABN's been making a lot of rotations, and they sometimes are a little quiet. They got a dub and a couple good games. So, again, I'm not super familiar with this team. Recognize some of the players, but I'm kind of want to see them play well again because they've been going for these early rotations. I'm a big fan of that. So we'll see how it pans out, where they end up taking here. This is a tough circle to choose where you're going to take early because a lot of these compounds aren't the best. And a lot of them also just, you're not going to see a lot of action from where they're located. And a lot of people like to take here, play in the mountains. So we'll see where they end up on this early rotation. Some people like to go here, but this isn't really a major power spot at this compound. See where they go. Bloodhound here getting close to Monte Nuevo. I would say, again, it always seems like some of the rare, better loot is at the cities. So I wonder if there's a higher spawn rate for emergency pickups there. So for teams that are in El Pozo, Monte Nuevo, if they want to do something like that. Catching some teams, rotating SI now, rotating RR, rotating out of Impala. We'll see.
While we have a little bit of a lull, I was just giving a quick check to the leaderboard, Blitz. I think both matches from today have been added, so we can kind of give a little bit of an idea of how teams like Toxic and the Seven Kings are starting to close in on the top of the leaderboard. If we do want to take a quick scan over to the leaderboard, it looks like we have a fight breaking out though. So enough about the leaderboard. It's RR versus SI, and it looks like RR getting the upper hand here. Laser and Panda already down, so it's going to be up to Lob Riot and Paulo Sam to try to recover this a bit. Paulo Sam is on the roof of one of these shacks here, so he does have a very interesting position. He's going to try a grenade first, but has to pay attention to Tragic and who's pulling up in a very good spot here, but he drops him really quick with the hollow barrel. He's only got 11 in the bullets in the clip here, but Wax is going to drop him. So now Lob Riot has to do something about it, but RR too good of a four-man, all sorts of angles here. Blitz, they're going to get the smoke down onto I believe their leader Tragic and here in this is a team we've seen a lot in our events. They're always registering for the weeklies and stuff, and we haven't really seen them get rolling yet in this event, but we're only 1/3 of the way through after today, so it's good to see them start to get the tires moving here.
Yeah, absolutely. We just tapping in, Slumpto got caught out by himself and Bliv, so Crazy Mob lost actually 3 members there, Stento. I don't know if that's all from Abnormal.
Was that in rotation?
I think that was because they have 3 kills. I think they caught them on rotation here. But that loss from SI is huge. They have to be frustrated. Laser went out pretty early, both 2 games so far for SI, and they had that tough push in game 1. So sometimes things just aren't going your way, and that has to be like a frustrating loss for them. I know Laser has hopped around on many teams and then went to PC, so I wonder if he was just like a pickup here, if he's back on console, who knows, but definitely having a tough start to game 3. And right now, because of that, I feel like this is a perfect time to kind of check out those scoreboards because we just saw some action, a little bit of a lull now. So let's take a look at the current NA scoreboard. Again, Stento and I are going to be repeating ourselves a lot, but all the teams haven't played 10 matches yet. It looks like this is still showing from before. I'm going to refresh the list.
Looks good to me.
Oh, it looks good. You're right. I just got a little confused because Affinity and CK aren't playing, so their numbers aren't going to be changing.
They're hanging out at the top.
Yeah, I got caught off guard by that. So they are still on top.
I think the real focus tonight is teams like Vigorous, Seven Kings, and Toxic, trying, and Crazy Mob, this and Abnormal. Tons of teams on the left side of the scoreboard, just trying to close that gap that Affinity and Console Killers have kind of set out there. And Toxic and Seven Kings both getting really close with 86 and 85 points respectively, trying to close in on that top spot that is Affinity with 117 points here. Only other thing I really want to point out on the leaderboard is top 9 Abnormal. Top 9 are the teams that are going to be going on to the $4,000 finals, so keep an eye on these teams battling it out for that left side of the scoreboard.
Yeah, and I also just want to point out while we're here on this page that take a look at the RR Rico Roughnecks. They just got that squad wipe. They're in 20th place, so they still got a whiles to go. And then also we've been seeing 187 play really aggressive. They're still just in 17th place. So both those teams been having like kind of glimmers of great moments, but they're still kind of a little bit back. So we'll see how far they can kind of climb today.
You see them appear on your screen, Winner Circle, ladies and gentlemen, taking an emergency airlift, as we often see on Miramar. Such an interesting way to move to zone, and we said it a couple times as well. We often see them be very successful incredibly not successful. And as I'm saying the words not successful, they're dropping onto the Seven Kings. This is not the team you want to be shooting at you while you're in the sky. And Quavo is spread out here, so he's going to get some good shots onto Shanks here. I don't think Shanks is going to survive that one. This man is too deadly with the red dot on the barrel, and actually flips his gun and has an AWM to back it up. Blitz.
No, not great. This is Quavo, formerly known as Trouble. I saw the Toxic kind of refer to him as that old gamer tag. Winner Circle again here in a dangerous spot because I think they got wiped early last game or one of the games. My memory now is getting a little fuzzy with all these games, but I'm pretty sure they got wiped early on. And obviously Winner Circle is a great team and a great name in the competitive console scene. So they don't want to end their game right now. They're also getting some third-party shots from P9.
There.
Here we go, centered up.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit crowded in the south side of zone, as I think you can see most teams anticipating a little bit more of a southern shift, but it was pretty hard to the north there, and we're seeing maybe another team parachute in here. Blitz, I think RMV. If you do, actually, we're seeing this fight still kind of break out.
Yeah,
between,
RMV. We could tap over there. They're getting tagged up from Abnormal, I think. RMV is going to take this open compound, a little bit more of a lucky parachute for them. I'm honestly thinking that it's better to save these pickups till late game, Stento. I mean, who knows? That could be a worse idea.
Unless you have to, you know, sometimes even in phase 2, you kind of get pinned in a bad spot or your tires get popped. So if there's an opportunity to use it early and get into a good spot, you know, you just need to make sure that you have another one or a way to rotate out of your landing spot, because landing on a car or landing in a good spot mid early game, you need a way to rotate out of there. Teams are going to be focusing you, and again, we've seen a couple teams pack 2 of these so that they have a way to get onto a mountain and a way to get out of that rotation. One thing I want to point out, you were talking about the Rico's Roughnecks. I think they're probably in like the best position here, spread between the gas station and that shack compound where they just won that fight versus Shooter's Instinct. So I think they're primed up for a big game here. We'll keep a close eye on Rico's Roughnecks there. As Blitz pointed out, I believe in 20th place right now. So they need to get a little momentum going in this third day of the event. If you're just tuning in, the Main Gaming North American versus Europe Showdown is going to be about a month-long event. We're going to be featuring the regular season on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Both regions, EU and NA, will be playing on those days. EU is going to be just Monday and Tuesdays. NA will be Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. But a ton of PUBG coming to you guys in the next couple of weeks. And it's all in an effort to get to the finals here. But we're seeing another fight break out. Winner's Circle involved in a lot of action here early on. It's going to be Bougie winning a 1v1 versus SSG Gamer to start things off. Let's...
Yeah, SSG, again, another team that kind of keeps losing players early. We saw them earlier in Azahar. Now I'm questioning how to even pronounce it. El Azahar. Soup in 30 millimeter here, 30 mm. Still alive. Winner Circle, I think, only has 2 members themselves, or do they have 3? Yeah, just 2 on the east side here. And they're not playing super aggressive. They're just waiting for SSG to maybe walk past. They escaped 7 Kings. Yeah, what you were mentioning before, Sentos, RR, they have the ability to move into this area here, which is completely open. A lot of teams usually have some success moving to this area of the map as the circle kind of closes in on itself, I imagine. And this pop, actually, Stento, just went really far north. So RR is actually pretty close to center. RR and Vigorous are going to be really happy. Vigorous has a 2-2 split. So we might look...
I'm curious what Vigorous is thinking right now with their 2-2 split.
Yes.
Do you want to hop into their party for an Astro 840 listening, and we'll kind of see what they're trying to figure out. They might be trying to regroup here.
Yeah, well, a lot of teams would try to join up, and we are seeing that with Kidzo here.
Yeah, we actually are seeing that. We'll keep an eye on for a good time to listen into their squad. Vigorous is one of my favorite teams to kind of tap into. They've got such a veteran experience when listening to them, but they have just rotated back to what is one of the most powerful compounds in this area with the longhouse and the wall there. So they're going to be in a really good spot. They're kind of just trading out long range shots with Rico's Roughnecks right now. I think the action is about to break out on the south side of the map. We have 4 teams on the coast here near SSG and Winner's Circle about to kind of all have to push into the same side of zone here.
Yeah, and look at all these teams that P9 taking a boat. They're saying, screw it, we're not even going to get near the water here. K7, 7 Kings.
Of 4 teams outside of zone on the south side.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams on the south side. Stento.
What a ridiculous setup south side. It's about to pop off. 14 teams alive, 45 players as we just passed by the 15-minute mark, and I think that's going to have itself in just a few moments here.
Yeah, 7 Kings now fighting again with Toxic.
This is turning into a little bit of a rivalry. We saw them battling it out last game. Toxic losing one member to start this off. That's Triple OG going down. So now Onyx and Tremis doing all they can. They actually have lost Boatman as well, excuse me. So it's just a 2-man here, and they're going to kind of back off. They're not that interested in taking a fight with a 4-man 7 Kings, but Onyx opens things up with a knock onto Warhawk here, and Tremis with an interesting angle, trying to get the thirst onto one of the members, but he needs to be careful there. All of the 7 Kings are together. They're covering the peaks, and Tacticals was closer than Tremis really realized there, so they're going to get the revive off there in a very good 4-man push there from the 7 Kings, picking up a total of 4 kills.
Yeah, as you mentioned last game, they're just such a hard team to kill. And one thing that makes them so strong that I wanted to bring up before is that they just pick really good angles and know how to cover themselves. They're usually not getting third-partied so much. They just know what kind of where to be with their character, and that is a huge thing because it's so hard to sometimes know where to play and how to move without getting third-partied properly. And we're about to see these teams are still trying to make their way in.
So many teams in the blue on the south side.
Wow,
Blitz.
Sento and Vigorous picked correctly. It looks like I was almost questioning their decision there. I mean, I would probably do what they did, but they had to definitely second guess themselves a little bit there. But now they're stoked that the circle did move in their favor. I'm gonna kind of track Bloodhound here on a aerial view because they're driving through, shots coming in, nothing really landing there yet, but they're also going to now run into the 7 Kings here. They slowed down a little bit. Now they're panicking to put the foot on the pedal and get out of here as fast as possible. Warhawk's going to get an angle, but it just lost it. Now RMV's ahead of here. So if the 7 Kings make it through this lobby, it's going to be pretty impressive because they're just going to have to get through so many bad positions throughout, right? They still have to move so far. The circle just keeps going so far away from them. We'll see what they can do. I mean, we've all been in this position where you're on foot. The circle just keeps moving so far away. One of the members of Bloodhound's in the back of this car. I don't know if he's AFK or what happened here. Is he laying down behind that car or is he in the car?
Yeah, most of the 7 Kings are trying to get some shots under the car and this and that, but their real focus has turned on just kind of pushing towards zone. They're eventually going to bump into RMV, who have kind of snuck ahead of them on these like little rolling ridges that we're kind of watching them kind of run through here. So RMV is actually poised up. They've heard the shots out of the 7 Kings right now, and now it's Dreams kind of starting things off with the 6x on the AK, putting some good damage onto one of the 7 Kings there. But this is going to be a very interesting situation here. RMV
nice shots onto
trying to hold
Tacticals
out
there.
7 Kings. Yeah, Dreams with a good knock onto Tacticals here. So always a tough fight versus 7 Kings, but RMV doing a good job to pick up some kills here.
Yeah, it almost looked like those shots weren't registering, but you have to remember in spectate view, it's not always going to be exactly where the players are aiming or even looking exactly. It's close enough. And another nice 4-time spray from Wheeler here. This team with a lot of long-range scopes on the ARs, making good plays. The AK 6 times
is slowly
underrated.
turning into a big mutual destruction type of situation as Quavo and Warhawk both picked up a knock onto RMV right now, but now it's just 2 members from each squad just working against the blue, using a little bit of smokes here. Jumar and Wheeler kind of waiting to figure out exactly where Quavo and Linkadogs are going to head out. I'm tapping into Jumar's perspective here because there's so many rolling hills to work with here that I just love the angles that he's working with to kind of prioritize zone ahead of them. Oh my goodness.
Wait, where did he get shot
see...
from behind? Who killed Jumar?
It was
Winner circle right before he died. Oh my gosh. Can't believe that it was JR there.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. And now Wheeler doing a good job to actually clean up the final 2 members of SK on his own. So he's going to sneak in there on his own. Only 4 kills for the squad there. And unfortunately for RMV, trying to hold out 7 Kings kind of turned into a little bit of a mess.
Yeah, that was really tough there. I mean, Wheeler's got to be happy just to be alive, but K7 did a good job kind of flanking left there, the last 2 members, but with the zone coming in, it was just too far there, too much damage coming in. Still looking for an opportunity to potentially tap into Vigorous here. Once things kind of get a little bit more exciting, we'll definitely want to hear what's going on. Eno has to be stoked right now. They have this famous compound that, you know, who doesn't want to be here when the circle's in this area? This compound is just on lock, especially if you have a vehicle or two to get out of here, if you need it to maybe crash and make a vehicle wall. I think they only have this buggy here, and they have another car and a care package is coming down Sento, so they got a special delivery.
His position was not enough. If you do take a look at your map, we're watching a really smart rotation right now out of the Rico's Roughnecks with their cars, getting into what is a really powerful ridge alongside of that road, especially with the ramp for a little bit of extra cover.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
A lot of their focus from this location is going to be on Vigorous, who is really the only threat to come out of their compound and push the road towards that direction. So you'll probably see a lot of RR kind of focusing here, as well as maybe some shots towards that Heaven compound in the center. But I love that rotation out of RR. Just a heads up play to get into a very powerful position to hopefully eventually push up the hill towards Team Eno.
Yeah, Wheeler stuck on the bottom here. So is P9 Wag. Some broken teams. We're pretty close to getting to a top 4 here. 7 teams remaining. ABN's going to play this ditch right here. Trying to see. I don't know what the sight line is from here to Vigorous, if they're even going to have a sight line. Potentially they will a little bit there. They're going to be out of the sight line from Eno, though. Eno can't really see when a team is in that ditch if they're laying pretty low.
Blitz, do me a favor. We've got a solo wrapping the edge behind RR. It's one of the phase 9 members,
P9 Wag.
Yeah, we've seen him, I think, kind of leading the way for phase 9 a lot of the way so far. We keep saying his name. He's getting some big knocks to open up fights for phase 9. And as you can see, he's got the 2 kills for phase 9 on the leaderboard right now. On the scoreboard right now. And he's just going to try to sneak in here.
He's pretty far around this rock. I'm surprised he sort of decided to lay down here. He's not in all the way yet, Stento.
No, a questionable spot if you ask me, but in the meantime, we just watched RMV get cleaned up by Team Abnormal, so RMV out in 7th place. It looks like Wag is I'm not sure if he heard or kind of realizes that Rico's Roughnecks is there, but this is a decent spot behind the tractor for now.
Yeah, so, it is actually a pretty smart spot. Look at this.
Yeah, we'll try to tune into his journey as much as we can here, but New Circle has popped. Team Eno is still in with their compound blitz, but Vigorous has to come out of their compound. I'd like to point out that just on the other side of the road from Vigorous is a little bit of a ridge they're going to be able to try to get to. The only problem is right now they have the Bloodhounds. A couple Bloodhound members are just kind of on the same side of the road as them in that popular ditch there. Prodigy does get a knock if you just saw your kill feed there, but Eno as well knocking one of the Vigorous members here. So Vig is going to need to work on getting this revive off as fast as possible and getting to that ridge there. So one of Bloodhound members has been knocked and they're getting thirsted out. So now it's going to be a little bit easier for Vigorous to push into this location. Blitz, how about a little bit of an astro listening as they make this push?
Absolutely. We're going to hop in right now to check out what's going on.
Oh yeah, he's still on my left dip. Still on my left dip. He's gonna kill me. I'm pretty much dead. If I get behind the car, maybe, but still in dip. If I can see him.
Is smokes not render in this game or what?
Really see him.
Yeah, they do.
He's still in dip. He's about to smoke out. There's at least two in dip.
Dude, these guys don't have smokes in their screen, bro. I'm not even trolling. Yes, I hear you.
My last smoke right here.
I have one more smoke on me as well. I have one more smoke. I'm dropping.
Getting a kid right now. Watch BH.
Oh, they're pushing. They're pushing. They're pushing left.
Nice, that's it.
Nice.
What do we have to play with right here? I can't even see because of the smoke.
Car's blowing up.
He's loading.
You can go left a little bit over here towards me if you want. We're just gonna focus our right. Focus our right.
Yeah, because they're out of zone.
Yeah, focus. Everybody.
I have one first aid and one boost.
We have a little car too. I'm dropping you a first aid right here on me.
Yep.
Pardon me.
Crash.
On the left.
Our left is focusing us too.
I headshot another one too.
Nice,
ABN's
bro.
looking
Nice,
at
nice,
us.
nice, nice. Are they in zone over there?
He's in the car. Locked.
Left side car and smokes.
Look is RR doing, man? You guys have a car and you guys didn't crash the fucking middle compound?
One side, top right compound.
I have no more smoke, so.
Tag him up a little bit. Gotta focus this RR guy in them. I'm behind car.
No first aids left.
Back. I got one smoke left.
All right, Sento, I figured I would come back to you here because we can finish off as we're in the final four. We did hear some interesting comms coming down from Vigorous. They had a tough pusher. They really didn't think they had a good spot. They're also a little frustrated that RR went this way on them instead of trying to make a push because they had a car. So now they might have that mutual destruction going on, and they kind of felt that was happening, especially without their vehicle. It exploded. Now they're going to be kind of exposed to the outside here. We're seeing that happen now.
They've got to work on getting to that the hay bales in front of them, but it's not even in is the thing. So again, as you mentioned, a little bit of mutual destruction with RR, but really wasn't much of an option for either of these teams besides to just kind of work off of those corners of the edges that they were in. Unfortunately for both of them, Circle has been like somewhat kind to this Eno squad that is just hanging out in heaven still 4 deep, but maybe a little bit of a quiet round for ABN, but they do have 6 kills and they're still 4 deep as well. They're both just kind of all focused on this solo now, and now we have a clean 4v4 in the farm field to end this. We're going to see ABN try and position up and get as much of a spread as they can on this Eno team, which is all still inside of heaven. What Eno's going to want to do here is try to get out of heaven so they don't just get pinned into this one location by some crazy angles. And you're seeing just that. One of the members, that's going to be 4TA, is starting to branch out. He's already got a tractor. And I think this is a very important play from 4TA. I think he's going to want to get the rest of his squad to try to focus up and get some better angles before ABN gets too dominant of a zone stranglehold here, Blitz.
Yeah, exactly. And also Max is playing a huge role here because he's kind of got overwatched from the top, so he's got to watch out. If he gets knocked here, Eno's going to lose out on a lot of visibility from the top. Also, most likely Eno might have lost some ground here by not getting out earlier, right? They should have maybe got out when Prodigy was losing those members and RR went down, at least sent a person over, because now Karm kind of has this back ridge already. For example, Eno could have maybe taken this and then really pinched ABN back. So we'll just have to see where the circle shifts. It's kind of still in favor of Eno though, Sento. So because of the circle, Eno might be safe here. Big difference in kills. Eno was just 1 kill right now. ABN was 7. And Max actually left that spot on the top roof. I'm really surprised they're not going to leave somebody up there. I guess they are ready to maybe leave. Max with a really risky shot there. He wasn't even in cover, taking those shots.
Yeah, I'm afraid for this Eno squad. Again, they've got some cover for the rest of this zone, but I'm afraid getting zoned too many times is going to restrict. As we kind of mentioned, we wanted them to maybe get some more angles, and a lot of focus is on the 3 players that are in the compound right now. And we're seeing Max use some smokes to kind of get out, and these are very important plays, making sure that Eno 4TA gets a little bit of support here and not all of the focus is on those 3 players, because if Eno 4TA does take a knock here and the rest of the players were in that compound, your angles are totally fried here. And ABN is now kind of losing their grip on zone. If you do take a little bit of look from above or at your map, Blitz, they've all kind of been shied into this one area now, and Fortier and the rest of Eno have got a really dominant stranglehold on the zone. It was that move by Fortier that was able to kind of cover, but Karm with a big knock put down to 2 HP there by Max. So that's a big opening knock, and it's going to be up to the rest of the Eno boys to kind of cover up for their fallen teammate here. We're seeing the nades start to go out. It's Karm. He's got a 6x on that the barrel there. Lots of smoke starting to go out from the rest of the squad now. In Verbal with a nice nade directly onto Boat. And Psycho with a knock onto Fortier. They're going back and forth here, Blitz. We've got a little bit of a 2-on-2 situation now. Excuse me, just one member is going to be up. That's going to be Verbal for Eno.
And Karm tried to hit a 360 barrel spray right there, and it backfired. Tony getting the res. Love the meme play. So now it is another 2v1 right now. That was big for Tony to kind of get that res off. What is Verbal up to right now? Is he trying to go for a res himself, or is he just pushing? He's just by himself here. He catches Boat with a heady though, and Tony's actually kind of low health.
Some really nice AK headshots there. Verbal is trying to do this as a one man. I don't think he's going to be able to get these reses off. Yeah, he's just spraying into the smoke.
So close. I would keep going. I mean, I thought he did, but he didn't.
Happened.
The revive happened. I mean, he's got to keep shooting through this smoke. Nothing's really happening. Now he's out of ammo, but somehow gets Tony with the last few bullets, Stento.
I can't believe he got Tony there. He's going to try to heal up. No, he canceled the heal. He needs to just fight and land some really good shots here. He does it. How does he take Karm down there with no health? That is impressive work from Verbal for Team Eno. We haven't talked about him a lot in this event yet, but now we're gonna be forced to Blitz. It was only 5 kills, most of them at the hands of that man Verbal, but some impressive one-man work to clutch up for the squad with the chicken dinner. Second place obviously going to Abnormal. They had 9 kills, and rounding out our top 3 in match 3 of the evening is Vigorous with 5 kills.
Wow, Stento, I wish we had a reaction cam right there, because my mouth just dropped right there. And Eno just had 1 kill going into that fight, so Verbal got all 4 kills. That was a squad wipe. It was delayed over time, but that was a squad wipe for Verbal to end the game. That was insane. Wow. Literally the dramatic nature of that. He was shooting in the wrong area of the smoke, right? He didn't know because it was smoked. Runs out of ammo, has a couple shots left, gets that kill onto, I think, Tony, and then tries to heal, realizes he can't, has 14 health, gets the reload off, and then gets the last kill. That was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I started to take it really serious. We tapped into his perspective, and he got a really nice headshot on someone on that left side. And that was when I moved to the edge of my seat and started taking it a little more serious, even as a spectator. And the blind spray through the smoke, you'd think he was gonna maybe get like Tony, who was half shields, or clean up the knock. They both got up and I think got heals off, if I'm not mistaken. And just some impressive AK sprays there to clutch up with little to no health on both of those players. So we'll have to put out a big, warning to keep an eye on Verbal for that Team Eno. But a great clutch up. What a fun Miramar match. We've got another one coming back to you guys for match 4 of the evening. And we'll get that lobby set up to you guys, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
GG's, everybody. All right. Welcome, everybody. We are entering game 4 of the night for our day 3 NA for NA versus EU showdown. Right now, we have Group B playing Group C, excuse me. Here's the map rotation. We are on our second match of Miramar, fourth match of the night. So we're going to have 2 more full matches. Again, this is day 3, the first week of this showdown right now. We have our plane path going from Puerto Paraiso all the way to Oasis. Love to see some kind of Oasis finish here. We just had an interesting ending right outside of La Bandita here in Impala with Eno taking out a surprising dub, and they're kind of on the bottom of the leaderboards there, Stento. So they have to be excited about that, and we're also going to have to update kind of midway through game when the leaderboards update so you guys can see some of the shifts there that are happening. Thank you guys for tuning in. And how we doing, Stenta? 4 games in, or 3 games in, I should say.
Oh man, I'm feeling good. Snagged a little pizza, a little beverage in that intermission. I'm ready to go for match 4 on Miramar again. The plane path was about, as you mentioned, Puerto Paraiso over to Oasis. And I'm ready for another Miramar game. That was such a fun squad wipe to end that from Eno. And again, they've been a little quiet throughout this event to start, but beginning to make a little noise on the middle of day 3 here.
Yeah, and the chat just saw that happen on the 10-minute delay, so chat went wild on that end play.
I love it. I
So
see
people
that
pretty
now,
exciting. That was great, and thank you guys, everybody for hanging out. I hope you guys are enjoying the action so far. Thank you for the follows and the supports, and make sure you guys are supporting Main Gaming and everything on social media and in Discord if you're not joined in for all the information for just future events and things we do. Obviously, this is a competitive event for PUBG console, but Main Gaming does a lot of fun events and giveaways and has done so much for the community over the years. And so if you guys want to be a part of that, definitely feel free to join in or follow us on social media. Here we have RMV and GE dropped at Cruz de Val here. So many of these compounds on Miramar. I mean, most of the PUBG maps I know like the back of my hand, but some of these compounds that you play at less, I just don't know every little detail to them because these areas you don't go that often unless you're playing in ranked. I feel like you don't see a lot of players go here in kind of normal matches as often as some of the other places.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, this is such a difficult spot to drop, and it seems like RMV kind of knew what they were going to do on a hot drop. Everyone's going to the high side. We're going up to the church building, and unfortunately GE, which most of them stayed on the low side, still sent one up here, which was kind of never really going to work out for them. But I wanted to touch on something that you said. Almost every event that we run here for Main Gaming is free to join and welcome to everybody. And the best way, to probably get involved with these events is to join the Main Gaming Discord and to follow Main Gaming on Twitter. And make sure we've got a huge roster of content creators now representing the squad, so feel free to join in on any of their streams, ask them any questions, and we've got a ton of people here to help out. Main Gaming is just dedicated to helping everybody in this PUBG console scene, and it looks like Blitz, where we're seeing people kind of seeing Gemini Esports run away from this situation here. They didn't really want to risk their other 3 members in a early fight versus RMV in the city. But I'm going to take a little zoom out. The first circle is circled, very far to the north side here. Oasis in play. Cruz de Val is the city we were just in, is very centered in. GE is pulling up on another squad here, Blitz. We got some shotgun bandits waiting for them here. Jalapeno and 30mm, both with a DBS and a pump, respectively. But Loose Rim here is going to take down Jalapeno.
Again here, SSG getting caught early. 2 members of their team here. GE on kind of a weird early rotation because RMV was also at that compound. Jalapeno going down again. Got to be a frustrating early flush there for game. Or Red Eye with the Vector. The kill didn't come down there, but 30mm is low health. Still in the 2nd level.
Yeah, so what I thought was going to be trouble for GE pulling up to this compound. Oh my gosh, Loose Rim actually falls onto his own grenade, and look, 30mm is going to take that as an opportunity to push in. Musty doing a good job of covering for his teammates. Mistake there in GE, again, which I thought was going to be a kind of a devastating pull up here for them as a 3-man. Works out in their favor. 30mm and Jalapeno both had shotguns, and the timing just didn't really work out for SSG. We talked about it last game. They've been losing people early on, trying to figure out their drop spots and stuff, and it just doesn't seem to be working out for them early game. So SSG gonna have to regroup a little bit. They still do have a couple of players here in Soup and Gamer now who are kind of rotating on their own, but we're gonna focus elsewhere here. ABN versus the 7 Kings. A new fight is breaking out here, and Tony is already knocked. Bold is trying to make up for a little bit of lost ground here. They're gonna get the smokes out as well. Blitz Karm is on the high side with a little bit of a 4x on the M4, so it actually looks like they're dealing with multiple teams here. SI and the 7 Kings giving a little bit of trouble to Team Abnormal, our second place squad from the last Miramar game. So a lot of action breaking out here in the first 6 minutes of our match 4.
Yeah, Sento. So as the action ended there with the GE, I was kind of checking the map, and I saw Abnormal getting some really good shots on 7K rotating. While you were still talking, I snapped into Tony. He got headied trying to get a kill. 7 Kings, they're like magicians, somehow getting everybody up, I think, there and out when it looked like they were screwed, because Abnormal was so quick to get in vehicles and try to surround them because there was a broken vehicle here, had crashed. And I really thought that they were going to lose a few members, and somehow they just don't, Stento. You mentioned it, like they just somehow stay alive in so many of these situations. It's kind of unbelievable. And at first you would say it's kind of a gimmick or something, or luck, but they do it so often. It's not at this point. And here we're even seeing some more action. A lot of early game action in game 4 right now. Vigorous is up against 187. 187, obviously infamously aggressive team here. Vigorous trying to pick up some points after a good ending yesterday. 187 lower on the leaderboards, even though they've had some good moments. Don't really have the points to show for it. So this is a big fight for both teams right now. Molly hitting Savage there, running to try to get some cover in the back buildings. Vigorous doesn't have a player. Don't know if they didn't load in or he got knocked early and quit out. Not sure. Only showing 3. So we do have a 3v3 here. And look at this, Stento. 4 teams at this compound. What is going on now? And a team parachuting, and this is Edo, our winners from the last match. GE, the rest of GE finally showed up here. RMV's here as well. We're going to get into their perspective because they're on the outside. This is insane.
You said it. 4 teams have all joined in on this one compound right now. And forget about 187Zs and Vigorous, who are also shooting up at this mess right now. RMV seem to be in kind of full control of the situation despite the emergency airlift kind of joining in. That team kind of got pulled apart. That was Team Eno, as you mentioned, our winners from last round, just kind of getting carved up as they dropped in. The rest of the team didn't drop here, I don't think. So RMV fully infiltrating this compound now. They know more people are here. They just don't know how broken of a GE team it is, and they need to be careful because there is another shotgun player kind of waiting inside this building here. I think that might be the only member left for GE, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it is, Stento. Where exactly is he hiding right now? Oh, that's right. This is a famous spot on that, whatever that is, thing that people get on the counter there. People hide next to the thing. I couldn't tell what level he was on. GE's going to be eliminated.
A good job by RMV to kind of clean out that compound. And I just saw Vigorous get knocked again, and some 187Zs are knocked. So I don't know where these shots are coming from. Up the hill, long range, causing trouble for both of these squads. So
shots coming from Abnormal still. 7K showed up, but I think they're going to back off. Those are some long range shots from Abnormal. 2 knocked for 187, but it looks like they're going to be able to get their knocks back up. They lost Kids, though. This is a big loss for Vigorous here, and they've lost their tire. They're in center zone, Stento, so that gives them some time to maybe make a better placement here, because if they got eliminated now, they would be the 14th team out. But they're in a really, really tough spot here, and Insane's aggressive. Like, I wonder when they will decide to push. We'll have to keep kind of track of what's going on here.
Yeah, what an unbelievable start to a game. We're not even 10 minutes in. Phase 1 hasn't even circled up yet. And we've just been watching fight after fight as these teams try to crash, good popular compounds in zone. And it's just been incredibly crowded places that these people are trying to crash, and we've just seen an insane amount of carnage. And the first circle up, phase 2 is going to kind of center onto water treatment, which is entirely empty right now. A pretty interesting spot to try to take early on, but there's several teams that are kind of comfortable in the northern eastern side of zone. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how the rest of these teams shift around these guys into this phase 2 circle.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really liking where P9 is right now in this zone, this compound. Kind of great to hold. You can get on the roof here and get some great sight lines. And also, if you need to crash down into water treatment later, you can. Winter Circle taking good spot, but I think they're missing some people already again here. They've had a tough day today, unfortunately, for day 3. Again, this is just round 1. So week 1 of the event, we're going to have 3 full weeks. So 2 more weeks of the regular season, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for these teams to make it into the finals and then play for $5,000 or $4,000 then, but $5,000 total dollars.
Yeah, while we do have a little bit of a lull, it's a good idea to kind of give you guys who are tuning in a better idea of the regular season versus finals situation. So we have 24 teams for North America and 17 teams for Europe. What we are going to do is have the 24 teams in North America all play 30 matches. And after those 30 matches, we're going to take the top 9 teams and they're going to go to the finals. And same with EU. We are going to take the top 8 teams from 17. And that is going to give us our 17 team NA versus EU showdown final, which will be played over the course of 2 weekends. But we're on board right now with the 7 Kings, who kind of just caught an unfortunate situation for SI in rotation, crashing the car. So 2 of those players, including Paulo Sam, are going to get knocked and thirsted, actually, I think, by a little bit of a third party from phase 9 there. And the rest of this squad has already pushed onto the compound. Maybe we should get into one of the yeah, here we go, into Linkadox's perspective here. A nice Molotov, I think, from Quavo has knocked one of the SI squad mates here. So a nice 2-2 split for the 7 Kings is really paying off for them this time. But Laser peeks down the hallway and puts a little bit of a halt to it, Blitz. This is going to be very interesting because the other 2 members for the 7 Kings are back at that long building compound across the street to the south. So Laser, an absolute veteran player here. It's just been very interesting for this SI team. They haven't really been able to get it rolling today, but Laser is the guy to get it done. And the rest of the 7 Kings are pulling up now. Laser is going to need to do something special here. A 1v4 situation has found his way pretty quickly to him.
Nice pre-fire there from Warhawk. They're trying to find Laser. He takes out Quavo. Warhawk's going to be here, though. Now the full strength team able to handle Laser. But you saw that moment, right, Sento, from Linkadox, where he was looking down the hallway, goes to pre-fire, but then sees that gas can. Is like, you know what, let me just take this gas can out. Looks at the gas can, and that's when Laser peeks and takes him out. It's crazy. That's how PUBG works. You know, 1/8 of a second, a fraction of a second, looks away, and that's when Laser peeks and causes problems. And
yeah, Blitz, and take a turn to the south. In the meantime, Tacticals hopped on the bike and hauled to their old compound to get their old 2-2 split back, but ABN raced in the meantime and took that, and Tacticals quickly turned the bike around and decided, I had the right idea, but I didn't get there quick enough.
Yeah, big grab for ABN now, because this is a nice compound to have for when the circle continues to shift, because they can move over. They could use this ridge to kind of move up, but then they might have to deal with P9. Kind of smart for Tacticals to take this gas station, Sento, because that blocks ABN from
that's what I was
splitting that way.
Next. That's what was on my mind, is that he actually turned away to one of the most centered compounds in the game. It's just an interesting one because, you know, the gas station's kind of a low terrain down here, so you're gonna have kind of everyone peering down on you from all sides, but nonetheless, some really good hard cover. They're gonna want to at least get 2 deep there, and I think they're gonna actually get 4 strong into this compound. The rest of the 7 Kings doing a little dance over a guardrail here.
I'm really surprised that they all left here.
They are struggling with this guardrail, actually, and they're gonna get out here. Quavo is joining up with the rest of the squad. That was pretty funny.
So they're going to 4-man the gas station, which to me is a little surprising, but I mean, it is good territory, and I think they're probably going to play for position. Quavo's trying to break through this and can't do it. They're trying to hide the car.
Guardrail is actually going to play a little bit of an issue here.
I'm not sure exactly what they're doing there with the cars. They still have the motorcycle, which is good, kind of hidden there for at least 2 players to get out if they need to. Tapping into P9, seeing if they have any viewpoints. I'm also continuing to check. If you see me keep checking the map here, it's because I'm really curious what's going to happen with Vigorous and 187. I think the push is starting now, Stento, so I'm happy. I was kind of paying attention there. A little bit of my ADD kicking in, but coming in at the right time to see this fight, because this has been brewing for a long time now. Been so close to one another.
Yeah, we saw them pull up early phase 1 next to each other. I think it was Vigorous who did take down one of the members, that legend for 187Z, but as you mentioned, this fight's been brewing for quite some time right now, and it's Mistake kind of working his way through the building, clearing it. But both Stiffy and Noxy have left the buildings and worked their way onto the outside of the wall, so a very interesting play from the members of Vigorous here, but it's going to be 3 of the members of the 187Zs are going to have to take down, and Noxy with a nice og-nog onto Insane, and Noxy again takes down Mistake, and now it's just Savage. He's got 8 HP right now, so Noxy, a little bit of a one-man show here, makes it a triple kill. Nothing but net from downtown from an absolute veteran player in Noxy. They're going to have a little bit of this ridge and the compound to still work with here, but a long way to zone from this corner, but unbelievable plays from the man himself. Noxy getting it done for Vigorous, as he so often does. If you take a look up the hill, RMV already with a little 2-2 split peering down on Vigorous here though, Blitz.
Yeah, so even though he clutched it up, they kind of have a tough path in front of them. Noxy, I know, hasn't even been playing as much PUBG recently. He just made that AUG triple kill there look so easy, which is not easy to do in FPP with that angle over the wall. That was a really impressive play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a very tall task for them to get out of this compound. I don't think there's any sort of a vehicle situation. I think Vig Stiffy might be kind of checking out the backside, but RMV already with a really good round, 6 kills, and they've got their entire team focused on picking up a couple more here, as Vigorous just is really I don't think they're going to be able to get out of this without dying. They're trying to get into a car or 2. This is their chance. Stiffy doesn't have a tire, but he's going to need to make it work. Noxy actually has a decent car, but phase 4 stings a little bit, and I think 1 tag there onto Stiffy actually takes him down to blue. So Noxy's going to have to finish this one on his own. Well done there by Dreams to actually bolty that first and pick up another kill point for RMV.
And Noxy just making it in with 5 HP. Gonna try to coast in. We'll see if ABN hurt him. Gonna be still a tough journey if he even has a chance here. I think you mentioned it, Center the zone centered up here. Like I mentioned, this spot P9 in is just such a great compound here.
Noxy not going to get into zone. It's actually Tony that takes him down for ABN. In 10th place.
Where should we tap into, Stento? RMV's got a tough journey down into water treatment.
Let's go into their perspective. I want to see what it's like in FPP, trying to run down these. Oh, there you go. The new feature. Anytime parachutes playing a big factor for some of these rotations. We saw a team jump off the prison rocks into prison yesterday for a little bit of a rotation backing off of a fight, so it really does open up more opportunities for some of these players to move about the map, and I really do like that for what is a pretty simple boots on the ground game. I like the anytime parachutes addition, Blitz.
Same here. I mean, so great for situations like that and some of the crazy terrain on Miramar. Yeah, overall, it's great things that PUBG's been doing, and some more changes coming in soon with the tactical gear, but that currently not featured in rank mode. RMV trying to stay alive here, using all the cars. The circle stayed close to them though, so they can take their time, but Jumar goes down. It's just Wheeler with low health. Wonder if we're going to see RR here, who again, bottom of the leaderboard, getting the kill onto RMV. They're getting more and more points now. They've been playing pretty well today so far in day 3, Stento.
Yeah, I love to see the Rico's Roughnecks just slowly starting to get it going here. Four kills, just red zoned the crap out of RMV there, who was coming in off of edge. RR's gonna need to be careful. There is a solo hanging out in water treatment. That's gonna be Superman, probably coming up behind them at some point. Here you go. Not at some point right now, and Silver's is down, and Soup picks up a nice kill point for SSG there, who is another team who kind of had a slow start to their event here, but they're hanging out in 15th place right now. So every point really matters for squads like this to try to get onto that left side of the leaderboard into the top 9. And if you do take a quick look at your map here, Blitz, it's a very popular zone when it does circle near water treatment. You oftentimes see it finish on this big slanting ridge that connects to the blue water pipes here, and having the compound that phase 9 does on top of this ridge, it is really probably the best spot to be in right now. You can use all of your hard cover and the roofs to kind of shoot at everything, and to hopefully eventually work your way down the ridge if you need to. The only other team that is really going to be a big problem for them is ABN, who has a good compound just further down to the east side. So you're going to see all of these teams try to sneak into really interesting zone here, because besides the major compounds, there's very little to work with in this big slanting ridge. Just it is wide open. It poses such a problem for these teams trying to find some hard cover.
Yeah, if you've been playing PUBG long enough, you definitely know this circle. I've seen this so many times, especially in ranked and competitive play. Something I want to point out is that Crazy Mob took this shack here, which is kind of a last-ditch effort. I want to see them succeed because one of their members has a FAMAS. I also want to point out that there's some unusual spots like this one that you could play. If you've been in this circle, you know this spot. There's a little ridge here that they can take, but little do they know that Soup is coming up behind them. So this could be interesting. Let's see Soup's perspective, how far he's going to get up this hill, because he knows this same ridge exists as well. He spots 2 of them. I don't know if they saw him. He's got a cook grenade. They don't see him, Stento. Nate's coming in now. They're looking the wrong way, and he's going to get the double kill. We caught it at the perfect time. And Super,
this is such an interesting spot, but you gotta check your 6 at all times. Superman is doing some big things for So Strong Gaming right now, taking them into the top 7 placements on top of the like 3 kills now he's gotten as a solo. So some impressive work there, putting on a show for the ladies and gentlemen here. But we've got just about 3 seconds until we're gonna see our phase 6 shift, and it's pulling down onto the road in the low side of the slant, Blitz.
Yeah, you know, this is an interesting spot I wanted to bring up as Toxic. There's a lot of these ditches here that you could play, which becomes really problematic for the team like P9. You usually can't see these players, and this team could end up kind of sneaking up on P9 if they don't have a good enough angle. I feel like it's so hard to get these teams out. I often take this compound and just remember dealing with the teams over here from just personal experience. And another care package fell over here. R is going to have to move. Soup has to move. We're going to see a lot of destruction here. We're probably going to whittle down to our top 4 teams quickly as this circle closes in just about 15 seconds. We're going to tap into P9 because they have the view. I'm really surprised that no one's on top of the long building. I mean, I know it's risky being in competitive play, but it just really gives you that extra kind of height to potentially see. Blurtsy here actually is on one of the sheds here. I think we just saw Soup go down. Is that correct? Yeah, he was in that smoke. Blurtsy getting tagged. Has to go back in, but before he can, he gets knocked.
That's actually Rico's Roughnecks all the way across from water treatment. I believe it was Tragic who picked up that kill. And there you go, Rico's Roughnecks having a tough time coming out of water treatment between the long range shots from some of the teams across the road, as well as Crazy Mob and Seven Kings picking up some of those kills. So very quickly down to our final 5 teams here. The middle of the zone is almost wide open right now. We're watching Team Toxic try to work their way in from the south side, but they're dealing with some resistance from both ABN and Phase 9, who's still 4 deep in this compound right now. We're on board with Tremis, who's doing all he can with a little AR spray to try to push back this ABN team, who's kind of working the southeast side of zone. He's going to need a little bit of help, and that revive is coming off onto Triple OG, so help is arriving just on time. The AR spray again coming out of Tremis here with the 3x on the barrel. Nothing's going to connect at the moment, so Toxic really has their hands full with their rotation. Very limited zone, and it's only more trouble that is coming their way as P9, they just began to kind of leave the compound, but they retracted back in, it looks like. So P9 just going to hold their compound and kind of some long range shots, and it's some good long range shots at that. Blurtsy takes down Bowman, and that's his teammate Wag that's going to be able to pick up the kill. In the meantime, some long range spray at a Karm is going to take down another member of Team Toxic here. So a lot is going on, and Tremis is now pushing up. He's going to get a knock and thirst onto Karm, but Boat is there for that trade. So this 2-man 4 ABN is just holding so strong on top of this hill. Triple OG is finally going to get to the top of the hill and finish that fight. 4 kills for TXC, but not without almost all of their team members going down. OG might be able to get a res here. No, he's not going to be able. Oh man, what a crazy push in there from TXC. Unfortunate that they weren't able to get a couple more into zone, but just too many angles. And actually Triple OG going down to Phase 9 here, who's starting to rack up some points from their location. They've had center zone all game, but not for much longer here. I want to point out, if you take a look at your map, Quavo for the Seven Kings has pushed all the way up into center zone, pulled a car up on a package, and now he's got an MK in his hands. We're down to our final 3 teams. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Phase 9 with a full team of 4. Crazy Mob with a full team of 4, all on a shack. And then we have 3 of the 7 Kings who are going to go down to that long range DMR from Droppa. So an amazing ending zone shaping up here in our 4th match of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stento. I'm here with my co-host Blitz5, and this is the Main Gaming $5,000 NA versus EU showdown. Blitz, what are you looking at here at the end here? We're seeing a couple more knocks coming out from P9 Fingers for Phase 9. They're really starting to get cooking, this P9 team.
Stento absolutely cooking there himself. I was gonna say, I was kind of bummed we missed the comms from Toxic, but I think I prefer the Stento comms. Absolutely killing it there. What I wanted to say is, why is P9 not pushing this ridge? If you absolutely send a member over here after you get that last kill on TXC, and they could be completely dominating the 7 Kings right now, but instead they're all staying right here, which could ultimately come back to haunt them here. I just don't know why they're not splitting up. I mean, they're playing well, they're getting knocks, they have 6 kills, but they could really ensure victory here by just rotating, sending one person to the right. Finally, Blurtsy, I think, is thinking about it a little bit, but they're not even really looking to the right. And one of the best teams on PUBG console plus best players are right there that they could be shooting at. Instead, they're just focusing on this shed. So this could be a really, really big misplay here. Only 2 members left for 7 Kings, though, so they're hurting a little bit as well. And Linkadox with just 2 health there. I thought he got knocked.
A super interesting dynamic. All focus seems to be on Crazy Mob right now, and they do need to be careful, because although it's just a 2-man underneath them, it's Linkadox and Quavo, and they've got care package guns. It doesn't look like the Crazy Mob has any smoke. They're running out in the open as a 4-man, and they're just gonna get destroyed from the 2 other remaining teams here. No shot with this situation. Quavo picking up a couple of those kills. P9 picking up a couple of those kills. Fingers is gonna need to be careful here as he peeks over the top with the MK12. One of his teammates is already knocked, almost opening a big door for 7K here. Blitz, this is such an interesting end game. I'm kind of curious what 7 Kings is looking at from down below in their perspective.
Yeah, let's take a look, because they have an uphill battle, literally and figuratively. I still can't get over, you know, P9 not wrapping. I mean, maybe they were nervous. Another player was over there to their side, and they just didn't want to run into somebody and get randomly, you know, killed by a snake over there. I'm not sure. You never know what people are thinking. Linkadox, his car is blowing up, but he's got another car perfectly flipped here for a little bit more cover. He sees a bunch of people looking at him. Kind of hard to pick a spot. He gets an immediate headshot onto Wag, though. So the respect coming in, but gets knocked finally from Blurtsy, who just made a big knock because Quavo was already kind of on the push up. But guess what? He's pushing on a knock himself, and he's got the MK switching to a red dot. He's got level 3 gear. It's fresh. So this is about the last thing you want to run into. It's Quavo with this weapon and level 3 gear. He picks to get the easy knock first, then picks up the double kill here. And this is how these things happen and transpire. We've seen Trouble.
Discipline is so good to go for the knock there first.
So yeah, so smart there to get the easy knock and then surprise the other guy. He's got this one lethal. But now he's kind of pinned on the back of the circle. That nade was huge. Fingers probably sweating a little bit now because he got a first aid. Muto's here as well and finishes it up for P9.
Wow.
Saves face there for them because Quavo was getting ready to do some serious damage. But great job for both teams.
Quavo had the spices out. He was starting to toss him into the pot and stir him up a little bit there. But Mutezo shuts it down with 4 kills himself, 10 for the phase 9 squad. It's nice to see. I think that's their first chicken dinner of the event so far. So a very good job to clutch up there. The 7 Kings had a decent game as well, picking up 8 kills in the second place in the crazy mob, 4 deep in that shack there. Really had no chance to move out of that spot. They do pick up 7 kills in the 3rd place in our 4th match of the evening.
Yeah, before we go to the camera here, I want to show the scoreboard if it loads up here. It's not going to show that last game right away, but because P9 just won, I want to see where they're located on the scoreboard here. If you see them, I'm looking, trying to find where they're at.
On the right side,
they're on top right in 13th place. So with that game right there, with
20
almost,
points, right?
Yeah, that's 20 points, 10 kills, 10 placement points. That's going to push them up to 61 total points there. So now they're going to be looking like they're potentially in the top 10, I think. Or maybe even in the top 8. So that's great for them. And just a wild game sent. I'll kind of end it here with our camera so we can say hello to everybody. We have one more game left. There was so much action in that game that I think we forgot to go to the scoreboard because it was literally since the beginning. The Miramar Stento have really been, to me, kind of the almost more exciting games. I mean, I still prefer Erangel overall, but the Miramar ones have been absolutely insane so far.
Yeah, I've been having an absolute blast on Miramar, and those 2 games were just crazy. Those back-to-back games, a lot of action from both start to finish. And again, I was getting excited for what I thought might have been a 1v4 situation there. That man Quavo has provided us with some of the most exciting highlights we've had in some of our MG leagues. I'll never forget the clutch with the AUG on Erangel, man. So
same. That's what I was thinking, dude. The 1v4.
But I'm very happy for phase 9 that they got their first chicken. And that's gonna jump them, I think right up into the top 9 conversation.
Yeah, for sure. But I was thinking that exact same moment when Quavo had that famous 1v4 crazy play with the AUG, and kind of reminiscent of that. But P9 save face there. That was huge for them. They can kind of take a deep breath and hopefully have another last game. So again, we got one more game. Stick around, guys, and we'll see a lot more with the leaderboards when we get into that one. So we'll be right back. All right, welcome everyone to our final match of the night for day 3 of our first round of the NA versus the EU Showdown. If you're just tuning in, this is a all-month event here for the month of June, where we're going to have the regular season for the next 3 weeks. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, EU and NA are going to be playing. EU is actually only going to be playing on Mondays and Tuesdays. So that's again for the next 3 weeks. Then we'll be moving into the playoffs. Because we have some new people viewing in the stream, just want to go over some of the information here. Here are our NA teams. Group B and C are playing tonight. Here is our prize pool for the regular season. NA and EU are going to be splitting $1,000. And then for the finals, we have a whopping $4,000 in prizes. And I don't know if I showed this yet, but here is the daily map rotation. Again, we just finished 2 amazing matches on Miramar. Super, super entertaining, crazy ending. So hopefully you guys were sticking around for that. And again, we have our last match, Game 5 on Erangel on Blitz 5. We're live right now, Blitz 5 and Friends, and I'm here with my buddy, co-host, and founder of Main Gaming, Stento. A lot of action today, man. We were talking the break. This has just been very entertaining so far.
Yeah, some very interesting games today, and we just saw the plane path take off from the left side of military base over to Lipovka. So I'm not going to say anything, Blitz, but we got to keep an eye on this first circle up. It looks like the team's got a decent split here. The hottest zone is kind of looking like this Snake Ferry Pier area with TXC, Eno, and the Crazy Mob kind of all close together. But first circle popped. Nothing too crazy. We're going up towards the stall where we were kind of asking for this yesterday, weren't we?
Yeah, I just want to say I tapped in the boat. He pushed this compound, and Eno Fortier was able to get away somehow. Boat was literally a half a second away from getting that early kill. That was like some Spidey sense reaction time right there. And so sorry, I was kind of distracted when that happened. But yes, the circle did pop up here. And I think you're mentioning we did see a circle up here yesterday, right? Or the day before? I think somewhere over there.
Yeah, we had so many mill to power circles that we were just begging for it to pull up to the north a little bit. And gosh, it really did. Stalber is on the, kind of the center of the northern side of the zone here. When we're seeing some early kills break out between BH and RMV here.
I thought I was on that right one. I think I'm on the wrong spot here. This is actually
there's a couple different spots we need to keep an eye on here, Blitz. Because SI and Vig are kind of close. As you mentioned, Eno and TXC are kind of close. And I think RMV just lost one of their members to BH and maybe vice versa. So I think we saw a couple of, BH is still 4 strong. They took out one member of RNV is what happened.
Okay, so that's over at Quarry. Just spotted them. And BH is at Primorsk. And then Vigorous had taken on a member of SI. Again, SI just keeps losing members kind of early today. It seems like teams are just really doing these separated drops now. Eno just got ripped out of the car. 2 members did from a DP from Triple OG. That would have been some great comms to pick on. I think Tremi are going to go for the run over with the buggy. Eno picked up a win this game, this day, or in today's matches, excuse me. But now losing 2 members early there. The rest of the tribe just continuing to move on. Vigorous is going after Panda right now. We're flipping around, so sorry here, but we're back on Vigorous. Going for a drive-by onto Panda. Kidza with the AK iron sight there. Gonna pick up
nice
another
little
kill.
drive-by by the Kid. I don't know if that's his team that's getting the thirst. I think so. Unfortunate for Panda there, just kind of getting caught out. Vigorous playing it nice and aggressive, picking up 2 kills now onto that SI squad. You're starting to see some of these teams push an early rotation here. 187Zs led by Insane are going to try and grab some zone. A couple of teams are already kind of hunkered in there in the Yasnaya and east of Yasnaya area. Tons of free area on the north side of zone around Stalber and south side of Stalber. So we'll have to keep an eye on these teams as they rotate into their first phase 1 position in our final match of the day.
Yeah, I'm really curious to when this scoreboard updates so we can show everybody kind of after that game. I was going to check, but there's just so many things going on here. GE,
I'll keep a close eye on it for us.
It just took a pickup. Don't think they expected anyone to really be in this area. P9 is in the building below. It's just one, though. It's Flirtsy. And another DP Stento. That's the second one we're seeing right now coming out.
I love me some DP action.
Haha, giggity. But DP is actually, the LMGs are so good in this game right now. I think the M249 still kind of has a leg up on it, but the DP is still pretty strong. I know a lot of my friends play PUBG. They love that gun, and I used it a little less nowadays. I trust the M249 a little bit more.
I love a 4x or a 6x on the DP. Just same as the M249. Those LMGs are so much fun to go prone with and just let it rip.
And Solar just got, I might have got the wrong person. They got Warhawk with the DP there. So that really is paying off for them. They get the flush on that. So they have to be pretty stoked right now. GE's had some up and down moments. And now they're playing pretty well, but they have Red Eye knocked. They're going to lose Rim. They kind of got to group together here and stop P9. Solar with almost getting whacked here. We're tapped into his view.
Yeah, close range, this DP is kind of tough to use. Unfortunately, he's only got an SKS to go with. He's going to throw a little bit of a stun into the building. Red Eye, meanwhile, on the second floor, getting a little bit of a heal off. Musty's watching the stairs, so some good coordination coming out of Gemini Esports here to work on getting their team back to full strength. Again, the DP is just a tough gun. You are happy to have the 47 clip so you can continue this pre-fire into the door, but he is running out of ammo. He's going to need a little bit of closet space, but the rest of P9 is showing up on the outside there. So some good plays from Wag and Musty coming outside in just a nick of time to end that one and save his Gemini Esports teammate.
Yeah, Solar got super lucky there because he ran out of ammo. Was kind of slowly backing off there, like in that little doorway. My God, man, this is not going to end well. But team saved his butt there, which was nice.
You were asking for the scoreboard update. We have through 9 matches today updated.
All right, let's take a look. I'm just trying to make sure we're in a clear spot now. I think we are. SI's trying to rotate. They don't really have anywhere to go, but I think now is a good time to sneak a peek here at the scoreboard. Thanks, Stento. Let's take a look again. Some of the top teams, are not playing tonight. That's the top 2. 7 Kings obviously playing. They're getting very close, just 3 points behind the top 2 now with this last game remaining. So they could leapfrog here with 10 points potentially. Vigorous up into 5th, so they have to be pretty happy with that as well. Abnormal in 6th, Crazy Mob in 7. Phase 9 jumping from 13th place to 8th place. And that pushes Torch down to 9th and the winner circle down to 10, Stenta. So that's actually a great update there, seeing Phase 9 on the jump and a lot of teams still on the cusp. So many teams in that kind of 40-30 range that could easily pop into the left side of our screen here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did a great job focusing on that. Those top 9 spots are really what these people are focusing on. There is $500 up for grabs for the NA qualifying section. So if you are in the top 5, Elite 3 or 4 placement, you'll be taking home a little bit of money. For the qualifications, we got to talk about those beams coming out of Legends 187Z. Multiple members getting ripped out of the car for TXC. I don't know if that was a full squad wipe, Blitz.
I don't know if it was, but that was TXC that just got taken out there, Stenta. Because I was reading some stuff with the score here.
Impressive shots out of the 187Zs.
Yeah, I saw the team rotating, and then I had to quickly check something on the production side here, and then I kind of missed that. But we were on 187. That's insane. I mean, they hit some great shots. That's why love to see them continue to make their push on the leaderboards in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that can get hot. We've seen them with some big wins. We know they can get the chicken, and we know they like to fight. So as soon as they kind of get it cooking, I expect them to really get some momentum and slide their way from the right side of the leaderboard over to the left side and be pushing for those top 9 spots. But they really haven't found their groove yet in the first 3 days here, but they're one of several teams that is kind of locked into a central position in this zone. If you do look at your map here, Blitz, as you just were, there's so many teams kind of dead centered up right now, all on that southeast side of Stalber.
Yeah, this is probably the least amount of teams we've seen alive at this point, I think, right? Maybe one of the matches was similar, but we're already down to 43 players and 13 teams. This is typical. Usually, in the last match, people are pretty warmed up. They want to send it. If they haven't been having a great day, they might get extra aggressive. Some people are sending it a little bit more. Vigorous, really slow to rotate. And I was going to say, It's funny watching Vigorous play. We saw them do the drive-by before. Sometimes they're almost just playing like they're in a normal match, you know, and they make those crazy plays that high risk, high reward. Sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. And here we go, Santa. We were asking for this yesterday. We're finally going to see a Stallber circle.
So much.
And Kaminsky is actually in this, so it could go either way. Occasionally see the circle kind of head over this way. It's kind of rare, but this does happen with some esports circles. You'll get one down here, or we have obviously the famous Stallber where these circles get really crazy, and you don't want to be the last team to Stallber, right? So some teams we might see send it up here. This is where the emergency pickup could be huge. There's actually a lot of places to kind of hold in this area if you could make it down from the sky, that is, at least. So we'll see how this plays out, man. This is exciting. We've been seeing a lot of variation today with the circles. Team sending it right now. Everyone on the bottom. Vigorous has to be stoked right now. Little do they know there's really nobody up here. They were on a crazy long rotation. RMV's actually behind them. So they're actually going to have a pretty clear path, which could be pretty good for them. I think they moved to 5th. They'd probably want to continue their climb here just to help solidify their position.
I can't believe that second shift. So many teams are on the move now, Blitz. And I'm personally just looking at my map right now. RR, WC, 7K, SI, ABN, just a few of the teams to name here on the move here. And I think that was a moving bolty out of... Oh, we'll have to tune into this. It looks like SSG just got a bolty knock onto RR on the bottom right side of zone here. And SS Gamer is in a car, full sending that knock. I don't know exactly if we just saw a bolty out of the car or whatnot, but it looked like Gamer was pulling up to try to get that thirst. But the rest of RR is there kind of providing a little bit of cover fire for their fallen teammate. They might be able to get waxed up. He does have a vehicle there, and now in the meantime, Crazy Mob driving through these two teams. Slumpto is going to be hard pressed to find his way out of here with his life, I think, but he does get through the two teams. Unbelievable. In the meantime, RR picked up a knock onto one of these So Strong Gaming members. 30mm is going to go down. That revive is going to happen almost instantaneously. RR is still kind of figuring out if it's possible for them to get this res onto Waxed as they begin to smoke out. The rest of Crazy Mob is kind of wrapping around on the coast side. And it looks like Cake is going to send his way with a buggy over to... Oh my gosh,
he got
not
stuck
pay
on
off
the wheel there. Oh
yeah,
my
the
gosh.
smokes just weren't in the right location either. They needed it to be a little bit longer. And just some good shots from long range out of the So Strong Gaming squad.
Wow, that was super unfortunate. Looks like he almost just got caught trying to get around the car there. And you're right, that's going to be a huge loss because RR has been picking up a lot of momentum today. And now losing 2 members this early on in what is going to be a very tough circle. You know, for these zones, you need as many players as possible when you got the Stallber zone. A nice trade, though, here. SSG goes down. They get tragic end. So now it's just Silvers. Now the rest of the team here needs to make a move. Do they have a vehicle here, though, Stento? Did Gamer just leave without their vehicle, potentially? Looks like they have another 2 vehicles up here. So Soup getting ready to make a move to get to his teammate. Let's take a look at the map and see what else we're seeing. Circle just popped to Stallber. Vigorous, very close to RMV. We have to keep an eye on this. It looks like they might be getting ready to make a move. Stento, they are. We caught it just in time here. Stiffy with a nade coming in. Wheeler with a nade. Who's going to come out victorious here? Stiffy does with the nade. Veteran comp player making a big move there onto Wheeler.
Yeah, Kidzo is actually playing point for them a little bit. Moving his way up the rocks here. Wheeler was kind of a little bit further down this hill than the rest of his squad. So Kidzo with the AK in his hand, laying down some pretty nice shots onto Brands here, who's actually going to get away. His teammate Jumar is kind of watching on the high side, trying to cover for him. But RMV, it looks like now that they know this is Vigorous, they're considering backing off of this fight after losing Wheeler. They'd already lost Dream, so just Jumar and Brands kind of don't have a choice to kind of just back off. No need to take a fight as a 2-man versus a 4-man Vigorous in a kind of difficult spot on this Stallber Mountain. So a wise play if you ask me. But just zooming back out, Gemini Esports has moved their way into Stallber, and ABN is kind of hanging out on the dirt road to the bottom southwest side of them, and we're seeing several teams kind of fight their way in on the edge of the zone here. SSG, Eno, and the 187Zs moving in simultaneously, and I think we might see a little bit of a clash on the right side of our map here, where a package is dropping as well here. Blitz, it's Crazy Mob and the Winner Circle in this side of the zone. I think Winner Circle is kind of a good perspective to kind of take a look at this all. From the high side rocks, they're just kind of peering down with some DMRs.
Yeah, Kofry potentially making a move here to the side of the compound. You know what's interesting? I wanted to bring this up about this area, Stallbur, which again, a lot of people probably know, is that it's just one of those areas that you don't play that often. You're used to it because the circle does occasionally go here, but there's just these crazy ridges and then open fields. So it does get pretty tough to play if you're like a solo or duo player here. So this is where, in my opinion, some of the squads really start to take over, is on this area of the map. And this is kind of going to be a big stalemate between these two teams when you're in these two locations.
Yeah, and now zone has kind of shifted a little bit away from Crazy Mob here, and Kofry is just kind of waiting for them on the low side, playing the point for this Winner Circle team, as he often does. Loves to kind of branch out and try to get those kills for his squad. And Blib is going to go down almost instantly. Kofry's and now kind of prone on the low side with some nades. Going for the underhand nade, not going to connect. He's going to try a second one.
Yeah, the rest of his team really isn't giving him the cover fire right now. They kind of turned and are looking the other way. So he needs a little bit of cover fire from the squad. The circle just closed. Droppa here, healing up at this car. I was wondering if he's going to try to get the team and get out, or what the deal is. Like, I wouldn't doubt if he pulls up next to this building, they try to just bounce out of here, because it's going to be hard to leave with Winner Circle on watch. He actually decides to leave the car, and they're going to be stuck on the edge here. We got a few teams stuck at the bottom. 187 Soup here, the solo still left from SSG. Vigorous still 4 strong. ABN hiding out in a pretty common spot for this zone as well. Stento, the zone kind of shifted back down to the south. K7 still here, 7 Kings, excuse me. Winner Circle fighting 2 battles now. Shanks kind of came up here by himself. So this could kind of this might let the Crazy Mob know that they're split, right? So Crazy Mob might make a move here on that. Oh, they're getting a care package, Stento. I really want to see what this is going to be. They just got a Groza, I think, here. And Soup is right behind them. Soup did this last game. He came and got a double kill on Miramar. Soup. He actually takes out Problems, who's got the Groza, so this is going to be a legitimate problem there. Droppa's got to go for a first aid. He's laying down, though, Stento. This is not a good idea to lay down and get this first aid off. He's going to have enough time to do it, though, so it wasn't a terrible idea. I thought he was going to go down there. It's only phase 4. I thought it was a little later.
Yeah, he is going to get in there. Some impressive plays from Soup there as a solo. Once again, almost gets a double kill. And on the other side of things, the rest of the Crazy Mob kind of died, I believe, on their way out to Winner Circle here, who is still kind of dealing with the rest of the Rico's Roughnecks players. You can see the long range hog shots coming out of the 3X. Again, an AUG of Jeer here. Kofry again is pushed up a little bit closer here. He does have blue working against him on the back side, though. He's got to be a little bit careful. He does get a nice knock onto Tragic and looks around the corner for a nice double kill on the Silvers. Super clean work from Kofry's here, not afraid to play in the blue in phase 4, so you love to see those clean shots. His teammate Bougie is knocked. They're going to work on that revive, and they seem to have a good control of this kind of slanted side of the mountain for now, but they're going to have to look their way up towards the hill, because they have Abnormal kind of waiting for them on the edge of your mini map right now.
Yeah, they just lost Bougie there, trying to bring him into the zone. And ABN has been here for a while, so we'll tap into their perspective. They're going to be watching Crazy Mob. Just want to say that Kofry has been on point with his sprays today, even though the Winner Circle has had some tough moments. ABN has been going for a position lately. They've been here for so long. They only have 3 kills, so they're definitely hungry for some points here, and they also need to get these people out, because they're going to need to focus in the other direction here soon. Let's see if they can be effective quickly here. They have a minute till the zone's about to move.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough rotation. All 4 members of ABN are focused on the edge of zone on these 3 winner circles players here.
I want to quickly check
great-
the map just to see who's still alive. So we have Vigorous, 7 Kings still up, 187 struggling at the bottom, and GE are safe in Stallburst. So those are the teams to look out for right now. Vigorous and 7 Kings both kind of battling it out in the top 5 of the leaderboards right now. So those are definitely some teams to watch. I think Abnormal might have just got pushed out of the top 8, Stento. So if you're rooting for one of kind of the, I don't want to say underdogs, but if you're rooting for some of the other teams here, you're definitely going to be maybe seeing how Abnormal finishes this top 7 situation in our final game of day 3.
Yeah, I think Gemini Esports is starting to hear the shots from Abnormal and push their way towards this. What's also interesting is a couple of 7 Kings members are kind of getting close as well. So a lot is going down here on this side of zone here. And finally, these knocks are coming out of the DMRs of Abnormal, taking down Shanks and Jeer respectively for the winner circle. It's just Ko-Fry down on the low side here. And look at this. Tacticals and 7 Kings have pushed up onto this ridge here. They already have 5 kills as just a 3-man here. And Tacticals is leading the way towards this Abnormal squad here. Nades are coming in. And Tac is going to get a knock with that nade onto boat there. So he kind of backs up a little bit down this ridge. He's going to crank a heal or 2 and probably re-engage ABN. So
He's getting
this
pushed
is a
by
great
2
spot to
players
be.
right
He's
here.
looking down the, he's looking down the hill for a little bit of help. Down Psycho with a nice spray there. He's looking for 2. Karm takes him down with 1 HP.
Karm there, so close. Tactical's very close to getting a double kill there. The thing that made this really tough is that there's only 2 members of 7 Kings left, and Linkadox is out here fighting with the 187 squad. So he's trying to get to Quavo there. But meanwhile, Abnormal is going to get the flush on Tacticals. And guess what? Vigorous is here to potentially clean up the heal from... Oh, we popped into the wrong perspective here. I want to try to see Noxy. We keep getting put underground. I'm sorry, everybody. We'll try to figure this out. We're lost here. Here we go. Next time, I'll just use the scoreboard here to get over to where we want to go. You can see the kill ranking here as Prodigy tries to get a nade onto the 2 members, the 7 Kings.
So Vigorous already has 7 kills in the final game of the evening here. We're going to have to stay on board here. Stiffy's been having a great night all evening. He's trying to catch up with the rest of his team members here that are kind of pushing on to this south side. Noxy, as he often is, leading the way here. Just kind of holding a peek with the red dot on the ace right now. Kidzo opens things up with the kill onto Quavo here.
Yeah,
I think
good
it's
rotation
just
by Kidzo.
I think it's just Linkadox left for the 7 Kings here. And Kidzo again with a really good flank here, using the tree as his cover. He's gonna thirst his former teammate Quavo, going out in his final match of the evening, looking up the hill. Not going to connect on anything there. The barrel is a really good gun in this situation for close range. He's going to run into Linkadox here in just a matter of time. The prone member of 7 Kings is going to go down to the young one who's got 5 kills already now.
Yeah, Ko-Fry was going to potentially make that a little bit more difficult for Kidzo, but he was ready and using that tree perfectly, and gives a little friendly tap to some old teammates and players saying hello. I'm glad we tapped into Kidzo's perspective at kind of the perfect time there to see what was up. And now kind of a lull for Vigorous as they regroup on the south side here. This is an interesting circle sense. I feel like I haven't seen this in forever. So the circle is going to continue to center up. GE will eventually, I think Sulbur might be in for another circle potentially. So they have to worry about Laser being here. And then they're going to have this ridge, but then ABN's going to be on the side. Vigorous will probably take this left side and a little bit underneath. This is going to be another crazy finish for sure.
Yeah, we are absolutely in for a treat here as we wind the evening down. Final match of the evening, game 5. And this is our final day of week 1. Our regular season is going to be a 3-week slate of games where everyone from both NA and EU plays 30 matches. After those 30 matches, we're going to take the top 8 teams from EU, pin them against the top 9 teams from NA in the $4,000 finals. So week 1 getting underway here, Blitz. It's been an absolute honor to watch both sections of this tournament really frag out. And I've got all eyes on Vigorous as we close out this first, this first week of gameplay here.
Yeah, I'm just showing the viewers where Loose Rim is right now on this pillar on the top. Potentially could sneak a viewpoint, but kind of tough with this sloping hill, to be honest with you. I don't know if this is going to really end up paying off. Going to get back into Vigorous's view. Again, they've kind of climbed into the top 5 today. This is going to be a circle, Sento, I think that goes pretty far into the end. I think we might see this to be the very end game finish unless Vigorous starts to just really roll. But I think GE being on that top side, they're going to be able to wait. Yeah, look, I've seen this circle before, Sento. It kind of stays north. It kind of hangs north a little bit here. And I think GE is going to, it's going to take a while for them to have to absolutely leave. Don't know if Kofra got this. Let's take a look if he got this care package. He did, Stento. He was able to get the P90. Trying to get the spray, but Kidzo comes down. It's just a little too far for the P90. And now we are in our final 4 for the last game of the night. If you've been tuned in so far today, we've just had some amazing endings. So I can't believe if you left the stream, how dare you? No, I'm kidding. But honestly, once you kind of get involved, once you get to the end game, it's really hard to look away. I mean, the action has just been so great. Stiffy,
Yeah, it's been an unbelievable day of games here. And Kidzo's already got 6 kills to his name. I know the young lad, once he gets 6 kills in a match, he wants more. He's looking for double digits here. He's got 3 teams to deal with: Gemini Esports, ABN, and a couple of Shooters Instincts members here. ABN Karm is going to start things off with a knock with a grenade here. And we're watching Kidzo kind of flank the low side here. We were just talking about him. He's got the red dot on the barrel, trying to locate some of the abnormal members through the smoke. He's going to use this tree for a little bit of hard cover as he continues to peek. He might catch Karm going through the smoke here, but Karm actually turns on him and puts him down. Karm's been having a great day so far, and he's using the ace, which we don't see too often in end game situations, but he's making it look quite easy here now. So what was a great game for Vigorous is a little bit disjointed here, but a good flank by Noxy and Prodigy to kind of put the team into a pinch here. And at the same time, I believe they put down one of the members of GE, or that might have been Laser from SI up here. So Vigorous gonna be able to get back to 4 strong, I think, because Gemini Esports is busy rezzing right now.
I can't believe that Vigorous is able to get back to 4 strong. Prodigy almost had that kill on Karm in the smoke, but it didn't happen. And you're right. I think GE was trying to make a push, and then I don't know who knocked them and stopped it. I mean, they honestly probably could have kept rolling there and caught Vigorous off guard, but they slowed down, not really knowing the situation. Now Vigorous getting the kill. Musty definitely knows Laser's here, so you're right. It must have been Laser with one of the knocks. So I figured this is what would happen, is that GE would not have to leave for a while. And exactly, I've seen this zone before. The circle's still here, so they're still in, but just barely.
Yeah,
so
Vigorous got this in the bag now that they're able to get 4 strong and push up onto these dirt road ridges here. Gemini Esports is going to have a tough time coming out of Stalber, and mainly because they have a solo behind them. That's Laser, a veteran player who we've already seen kind of play spoiler here for a couple of teams, and he gets a knock and takes full attention of GE here. You have to think that this is Vigorous's time to kind of push up a little bit, and Stiffy wasting no time leading the charge for this squad. A monster game coming down in match 5 of the evening for Vigorous. We're gonna have to see what the final kill total is at the end here, but Stiffy actually gets put down. Solar is not ready to lose this game yet here. He's going to need to cover for the rest of his team if they consider a revive here. So it's just Red Eye and Solar now. Prodigy is pushed up, and the rest of Vigorous is going to need to join up as soon as possible here.
Yeah, I'm wondering, looks like Noxy and Kidzo aren't pushing. I wonder if they're just saying, hey, you guys try to do this kind of 1-on-2 here, and we'll wait in case things go wrong. I don't know exactly what's going on here.
They just had a difficult push. Those dirt roads require you to run all the way down the road before you can kind of get up the ridge. But nonetheless, it gave time for a revive or 2 to come off here. So now in the end of things here. Ooh, it's a nice molly by Kidzo. We had a little bit of a 2v3 situation, but now all eyes are on Noxie and the rest of the squad for Vigorous as they put the pressure down onto Solar. That's going to be a winner chicken dinner for one of our most veteran teams in the console scene. Vigorous picking up the 15 kills in the win in our final match of the evening. Gemini Esports had a nice match as well, picking up 10 kills in the second place, and Shooter's Instinct sneaking into that third spot with 0 kills. Blitz.
Yeah, another great ending there. I want to take a quick look at the scoreboard. So we have how many kills for Vigorous there? They had 6, 7, I think 15 kills.
15,
so
yeah.
We'll look at the scoreboard. Plus 10 points for winning that match. They're currently in 5th place. They're going to get 25 points there, which is going to bring them
109. They're going to be sitting right behind Console Killers.
Yeah, right behind them. And then with 7 Kings, though, probably got, I forget how many points they got there. I'm going to quickly try to check over. They got 5 kills. So, yeah, they're going to be right below the 7 Kings. They're probably in 4th place. So, it's great for Vigorous. They have to be stoked about that. And, again, we're going to have to wait a little bit for the leaderboards to update here, but just to show you guys kind of some of the movements there. I like to check that after the game, and me and Stento will say hello for the last time after that one. I'm really happy we saw Stallber finish. Stento, any comments you have on that game and Vigorous's performance to take out the last dub of the game? I think they did that yesterday too, or one of the end games they took out a dub.
Yeah, we were kind of asking for the Stallber end after seeing so many Milta, like Farmfield Milta hillside zones there. It's such a tough place for these guys to play. So a nice little shake 'em up there with the phase 2 shift pulling hard up onto the hill. There was a lot of fighting going on simultaneously. It's so tough to play those Stallber hills. So, you try to get up top early and you're kind of isolated up there on the flats of Stallber. But once Vigorous kind of got it rolling there, they didn't stop. They had a big fight versus Abnormal. And held strong and were able to kind of avoid getting any thirsts there. So once they're able to get to 4 strong there, and Gemini Esports had a solo behind them, Vigorous just had full domination of the zone, so there wasn't really any question that they were going to get that chicken there. Yeah,
we didn't really watch Vigorous kind of in the mid game and see what they did. They rotated in late. Stallber's, I mean, obviously this can be said for any spot in PUBG, but Stallber is such a spot when you don't know where that third party's coming because it's so vertical, right? You think you might be safe, but then a team just kind of comes over a hill that you had no idea was there. Vigorous came in from the left side, which I guess is safer because so many teams were on that east side that Vigorous rotating late on the left side really saved them. They kind of rolled in and found some broken squads, found 7 Kings broken, which really just helped out. And having 4 strong always helps, and that's where they were at. So just a great performance for them. And again, yeah, this is the end of day 3, week 1. So we got 2 more weeks of this action to repeat. We'll try to get some more schedule information out there because I see some people are a little confused with how everything is going and the prize pool. So we keep trying to show that in between each round or some of the rounds and intros. So we'll keep posting all that information out there to keep you guys informed. I'll quickly just kind of flash some screens so you guys can see some of the information because I just saw a lot of questions in chat about the prize pool. Again, $1,000 for the regular season. Some people are wondering that qualifying teams will get this. We thought this was just a good way to kind of give some money out to the teams that are playing in the beginning part of the tournament, because it's kind of a longer event. So I think people appreciate that. And then some money, bigger prize pool for the finals, $4,000 going to be spread across. And then we have our teams here for EU and NA. So anything else you'd like to add, Stento, to that?
No, today that marks we're 1/3 of the way through the regular season. So we've got 2 more weeks of regular season gameplay. We'll be back at 3 p.m. Eastern on Monday with picking up the EU section. But just an absolute blast to be here this week. First time we've done a little bit of a league situation in a while, so it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work, but it's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And just a big shout out to everyone that's been tuning in every night, and a big shout out to all the players and everything. We've been having a blast with it. We appreciate all the positive, constructive feedback. We're just trying to make this a more enjoyable show for everyone to watch every time we go live. So thank you guys so much for everything. We'll be back next Monday again with both regions battling it out.
Yeah, again, that's 3 p.m. Eastern for EU and then 8 p.m. Eastern for NA. So, all right, everybody, have a great night. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we'll see y'all next week. GG's, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Adios.